Chapter 949. This made Wang Daoyuan overjoyed. The ancestor mentioned by Myriad Magic Demon was most likely the one with the limitless divine sense. Myriad Magic Demon was only at the middle stage of the Yuanying realm, so he shouldn't be considered a genius. He didn't expect him to have such a powerful ancestor. It said that your ancestor's divine sense was limitless. Is this a bloodline talent, a secret technique, or a treasure? Myriad Magic Demon replied, I've only heard about this from my elders. My ancestor had the bloodlines of Myriad Magic Demon, Soul-Devouring Demon, and Blood Demon, and a mutation occurred. Through his bloodline, his spirit power could slowly transform into a part of his divine sense and blood. This attracted the attention of the upper echelons of the sacred race, who focused on nurturing him. They also arranged many wives and concubines for him, and he gave birth to many children. Unfortunately, these children didn't have such talent. My bloodline is also the descendant of one of these children. Not only do we not have my ancestors' abilities, but our bloodline is mixed and our talent is poor. My ancestor's talent isn't very useful in actual combat, but it can be very useful in cultivation. My ancestor cultivated to the almighty realm when he was around 4,000 years old. The cultivation speed of the sacred race is much slower than that of the human race. It takes them over 1,000 years to reach the Yuanying realm. It takes them at least 7,000 to 8,000 years to reach the almighty realm. Since it's not useful in actual combat, why did his divine sense later on become inexhaustible? Myriad Magic Demon replied, This matter is widely spread in the sacred race, but there are many theories. Some say that the upper echelons of the sacred race created a secret technique for my ancestor. Combined with his bloodline talent, he can continuously transform spirit power into divine sense. Others say that he used his bloodline to refine a special magic tool that can accelerate the transformation of spirit power into divine sense. There are many other theories, but most of them are baseless nonsense. These two statements were already the most credible. As for the specifics, even my ancestor doesn't know. Wang Daoyuan nodded. The blood demon bloodline is good at using their own blood essence to refine magic tools. Your ancestor has the bloodline of the blood demons. There's nothing strange about using the power of blood essence to forge some kind of special magic tool. Wang Daoyuan had been injured by the Yuanying blood demon's bloodthirsty heart-shattering blade when he was quelling the chaos in Sky Devil Valley. That magic tool was condensed from the blood essence of the blood demon, and its destructive power was extremely strong. Of course, there were also many secret techniques that could be used in conjunction with their bloodline talents. There were many cultivation methods and spells that complemented a human's battle constitution, and there were even more secret techniques for half-demons. Even the Zhou clan's Nirvana secret technique was a type of bloodline secret technique. The two situations mentioned by the Myriad Magic Demon were both possible. At the very least, he could confirm that the 10,000 Laws demonic bloodline was indeed special. Later on, he was able to give birth to limitless divine sense, which had a lot to do with his bloodline. After hearing this news, Wang Daoyuan was still a little disappointed. After the demon clan took human form, they could mix blood with humans. But he had never heard of mixed blood between humans and demons. Although some demons and humans looked very similar, they were not creatures of the same world. Humans used to be one of the demon clans, and there were a lot of demon clans' bloodline mixed in. Wang Daoyuan himself had a small amount of divine beasts' bloodline, so it was not a problem for him to practice secret techniques related to divine beasts. But if he wanted to practice demon clans' bloodline secret techniques, or control special bloodline magic tools, then there was no way. But he still decided to look for it. Even if he couldn't use it directly, he could use it as a reference. If he could prove that such a method really existed, then there was hope. They were both highly intelligent races, so what the demon clan could do, the human clan could also do. Where was your ancestor buried after he died? The Myriad Magic Demon replied. At that time, my ancestor was besieged by 3 Earth Immortals of the human clan. Even if his strength was comparable to the Earth Immortals, he was still only a powerful expert. Under the siege of the 3 Earth Immortals, he couldn't escape and finally died. The upper echelons of the sacred clan buried some of his relics and the other sacred clan members who died in the battle in the Myriad Devil Grave. I've told you everything I know. Can you let me go now? Since the place where the demon clan was buried was called the Myriad Devil Grave, there should be a lot of demons buried there. It would be very difficult to find the grave of the Myriad Magic Demon inside. Help me find your ancestor's grave, and I'll let you go. The deeds of my ancestor were passed down from generation to generation. The myriad devil grave has a method left behind by the ancient demon clan. Even soul formation cultivators can't enter. Although senior strength is high, but you're only a Yuanying. You can't break the restriction of the myriad devil grave. Don't talk too much, just take me there. Whether I can break the restriction or not, that's my business. The myriad magic demon didn't dare to say more, and could only comply. The myriad devil grave was not located in a remote area. With a local snake leading the way, they soon arrived outside the myriad devil grave. Wang Daoyuan took out the Xian cauldron, and put the myriad magic demon inside. Letting him go was impossible. The human clan and the demon clan were mortal enemies. There was no hope of coexistence. Killing the demon clan was the righteous cause of the human clan. In front of righteousness, personal integrity was not worth mentioning. In the middle of the decimating heaven abyss was a bottomless crack, but the entire decimating heaven abyss was not a neat crack. Even the width of the crack was different. When Guiyuan's sword immortal slashed open the decimating heaven abyss, it was not just a simple crack. Many mountains and spirit veins on both sides also fell into the decimating heaven abyss. The myriad devil grave was located in a valley that was not very big. It was surrounded by more than 10 small mountains. Although these mountains were small, each of them had a rank 6 spirit vein. The entire valley was set up with a defensive formation. However, the formation was hidden, and there was no way to determine its power. Wang Daoyuan took out the 5th rank high-grade sword puppet, Xueqi, and controlled it to attack the formation, while he hid far away. The sword puppet waved its sword, and 36 sword shadows appeared in an instant. Under the sword puppet's guidance, the sword shadows gathered together, and attacked the valley at the same time. Suddenly, the dozens of mountains emitted a dazzling white light. The sword shadows fell into the white light, and disappeared in an instant. The power of this formation was much weaker than Wang Daoyuan imagined, and it did not have the ability to counterattack. More than 10 small rank 6 high-grade spirit veins. The power of this formation was only at the rank 6 middle-grade level. After all, it was just a graveyard. When this graveyard was built, it was when the war between the two sides was at its most intense. The demons would not pay too great a price to build a graveyard. Wang Daoyuan's 5 natal magic tools flew out, and quickly combined into Yinglong's devil-slaying sword. The 5 tool spirits stayed in the magic tools. Yinglong flew out from between Yuanying's eyebrows, and merged into the sword. He did not use any sword cultivation magic, and only controlled Yinglong's devil-slaying sword to slash at the formation. A sword hum like a dragon's roar sounded. On the mountains surrounding the myriad devil grave, a dazzling white light flickered again. Yinglong's devil-slaying sword was directly bounced back. The white light was only slightly weaker. Even at the peak of Yuanying's strength, using Yinglong's devil-slaying sword to attack still consumed a lot of spiritual energy. Wang Daoyuan extracted a large amount of spiritual energy from the space in the spirit pearl to replenish his own consumption. This formation was passed down by the demons, and was very different from human formations. Wang Daoyuan could not find its weakness in a short time. With his own strength, it was impossible to break through the myriad devil grave. When he came, Guiyuan's sword immortal said that if he could not solve a problem, he could use Guiyuan's sword intent. Guiyuan's sword immortal used Guiyuan's sword intent to resonate, and Wang Daoyuan could borrow part of Guiyuan's sword immortal's power. Even if it was only a trace of a sword immortal's power, it was enough to break this formation. Wang Daoyuan Guiyuan's sword intent was fully activated. Guiyuan's sword immortal, who was hundreds of thousands of miles to the west, laughed. "My little disciple is really troublesome." With that, his figure merged into the sword. The entire Guiyuan sword trembled slightly, and let out a sword hum. A moment later, a killing intent soared to the sky. South of decimating heaven abyss, the tall plum tree shook violently. Petals fell from the tree, and the ground below the tree was quickly covered in petals. Chapter 950. The falling petals did not cover the 2 elders under the tree, but the chessboard they were playing on was completely covered. The black-robed elder sighed. "Brother Guan is really restless." There was no movement from the formation before, so there shouldn't be any demons above the soul formation stage causing trouble. The white-robed elder smiled. There was some movement from the masked devil's grave. Although it wasn't strong, there was a hint of Guiyuan's sword intent. Brother Guiyuan must have made a move because of the masked devil's grave. Besides, Why bother with other people's business? As long as no living beings come out of the decimating heaven abyss, it has nothing to do with us. With that, he waved his sleeves, and a breeze blew past, taking away the petals on the chessboard. He placed another piece. In front of the masked devil's grave in the decimating heaven abyss, Wang Daoyuan naturally felt Beiyuan's sword intent, which was as vast and boundless as the ocean. Wang Daoyuan held Yinglong's demon-slaying sword tightly with both hands, and poured all of his strength into the sword. Under his guidance, Beiyuan's strength also gathered into the demon-slaying sword. Soon, there was too much strength in the sword, and Wang Daoyuan could no longer control it. He did not dare to guide the strength anymore, and instead controlled the demon-slaying sword to slash at the masked devil's grave below. Yinglong's demon-slaying sword emitted a dazzling yellow light, and flew towards the masked devil's grave. A dazzling white light appeared on the dozens of hills again. This time, the white light was not as powerful as before, and under the illumination of the bright yellow light, it disappeared like morning dew. As the demon-slaying sword fell, the hills around the masked devil's grave began to shake violently. Soon, the complex inscriptions on the hills began to crumble, and the masked devil's grave's defensive formation was completely destroyed by this sword. Wang Daoyuan was also shocked. Even a cultivator at the peak of the soul formation stage would have to expend a lot of effort to break through a 6-tier array formation. He did not expect that the formation would be destroyed with just one slash, and there was no point in repairing it. Although he mainly relied on Beiyuan's strength, he was still the one who slashed with his own hands. Withdrawing Yinglong's demon-slaying sword, a wave of exhaustion washed over him. A peak Yuanian cultivator wielding strength that exceeded the peak soul formation stage. Even with sword immortal Beiyuan's assistance, it was still extremely taxing on his essence, energy, and soul. He immediately took out a jade bottle, opened his mouth, and drank the 7-leaf ghost face flowery dew. With the nourishment of the flower dew, his divine sense quickly recovered. The recovery of spiritual energy and qi and blood was very simple. He just had to draw out some spiritual energy from the space of the spiritual pearl. After being refined by the spiritual power seed, a portion of qi and blood could be converted. In just half a cup of tea's time, the consumed spiritual energy and qi and blood were completely recovered. His spiritual sense had also recovered by more than half. After all, this flower dew was condensed from the rank 5 7-leaf ghost face flower. Its effect was much stronger than the rank 4 flower dew. Now that he was able to use his full strength, he could enter the masked devil's grave without worry. In the small valley, there were tombs of various sizes everywhere. Roughly counting, there were thousands of them. Wang Daoyuan couldn't help but sigh. Those mighty figures and earth immortals of the human race were really ruthless. Demons of the Yang demon lineage had cultivated to the Mahayana realm. Even after death, their bodies would still be extremely powerful. If it wasn't dealt with properly, it might turn into a mountain. The Blood Demon Ridge, Demon Burial Mountain, and other mountain ranges in the southern wasteland were all formed by demons who had died in ancient times. Even the Een demons and Manadharma demons would have many anomalies in their resting places. At least thousands of demons had died here. There were also more than a dozen mighty figures and Mahayana demons, but there was nothing special about it. It seemed that the powerful demons of the past had been completely destroyed by the mighty figures and earth immortals of the human race. Even the strength in their bodies was not much left. Wang Daoyuan used an earth element spell to turn over the rocks in the valley. Many demon skeletons were exposed. These skeletons were of different sizes and shapes, but they didn't have much spiritual energy. The Manadharma demon he was looking for was already dead. There couldn't be any skeletons left. In the middle of the small valley, there were 6 small hills of earth and stone. These hills weren't formed naturally. They were piled up by humans. The spell from before had not been able to move these hills. There must be something extraordinary inside. Wang Daoyuan took out the Sword of Origin Restoration. It formed a giant sword shadow and swept toward the 6 hills. Some defensive formations did appear on the hills, but these formations weren't strong. Under Wang Daoyuan's full force attack, they were instantly broken. The tops of the 6 hills were all flattened, and 5 of the hills had huge bones exposed. The small mountain in the center was empty. There were no skeletons at all. Wang Daoyuan immediately flew toward this hill and used the earth-splitting technique to shatter it. A blood-red longsword was revealed below. This longsword was similar to the flying swords commonly used by human cultivators, but it exuded a strong smell of blood. The material was rather strange. Wang Daoyuan couldn't tell what kind of material it was. Judging by the spiritual energy fluctuations, the material should not be inferior to the Xian cauldron. His spiritual sense was actually absorbed by this long sword. Different demon clans used different magic tools. Blood demon magic tools were usually refined with their own blood essence. Yin demon magic tools mostly had the effect of attacking spiritual sense. A long sword like the one in front of him was usually used by the myriad magic demon clan. However, the strong smell of blood and the ability to absorb spiritual sense were only possessed by blood demons and Yin demon magic tools. This magic tool had the characteristics of all three major demon clans. Its owner should be that powerful demon. Wang Daoyuan wanted to put this magic tool away, but the long sword shot out several rays of blood-red light. He was only a Yuanying cultivator. He didn't dare to fight against a powerful magic tool. However, this magic tool had been ownerless for more than 70,000 years. Its power was much weaker than before. Wang Daoyuan summoned the Xian cauldron and absorbed the blood-red light. The Xian cauldron's artifact spirit appeared. It's been many years since I've eaten the spiritual energy of demons. This sword is rather interesting. It should also have an artifact spirit. If I can refine it, its grade should increase. Artifact spirits were formed by the laws of nature. By devouring each other, they could also increase their own power. Wang Daoyuan smiled. Since devouring it is beneficial to you, I can't just stand by and watch. Saying this, he poured a large amount of spiritual energy into the Xian cauldron. With Wang Daoyuan's spiritual energy, the Xian cauldron's aura increased greatly. It released a powerful suction force and swallowed the blood-red long sword. This blood-red long sword had been ownerless for tens of thousands of years. Its artifact spirit had long since fallen asleep. It could only resist by instinct. From time to time, it would release a few rays of blood-red light to attack. Unfortunately, it was not worth mentioning in front of the Xian cauldron. After a stalemate of more than 100 breaths, it completely lost its ability to resist and was absorbed by the Xian cauldron. Wang Daoyuan immediately put the Xian cauldron into the space of the spirit pearl. No matter how strong this blood-red longsword was, it could not escape from the space of the spirit pearl. After putting away the long sword, he continued to dig. Soon, he found a few more magic tool fragments, many of which still had some power. With Wang Daoyuan's current cultivation, these things really did not interest him. However, one of the magic tool fragments caught Wang Daoyuan's attention. This was a blood-red translucent irregular crystal, slightly bigger than a longan. There were obvious traces of fragmentation on it. This should be a small fragment of some magic tool. The material of this crystal was unknown. It was broken to such an extent that it should no longer have any function. After careful observation, he found that this crystal was constantly absorbing spiritual energy. Although it was very weak, it could not escape Wang Daoyuan's detection. Wang Daoyuan probed this crystal with his divine sense, and found that it contained both spiritual energy and qi. Previously, the mid-stage Yuanying devil had said that his ancestor could produce endless spiritual energy. It could be due to some kind of secret technique or some kind of special magic tool. It was normal for magic tool fragments to have spiritual energy. All spiritual objects had spiritual energy. However, spiritual energy and qi were not things that natural materials could have. It was also possible for magic tools to contain spiritual energy and qi. However, once the owner did not inject it, it would gradually dissipate. This crystal contained both essence, qi, and spirit. It had not dissipated for tens of thousands of years. It could also absorb spiritual energy. It was very likely that it had the function of transforming spiritual energy into qi, and spiritual energy. Chapter 951. Wang Daoyuan put the blood-red crystal into an interspatial ring, and then put the interspatial ring into the spiritual pearl. Then, he turned the entire hill over several times, but found nothing valuable except for some magic tool fragments. However, there was a saying in the cultivation world that divine objects concealed themselves. Some real treasures might look very ordinary. Even the spirit bead in the world of his previous life was just an ordinary glass bead. It was very likely that there were treasures hidden within these ordinary dermic artifact fragments. He carefully rummaged through the 6 piles of dirt and rocks, burning each rock with his spirit flame. After tossing and turning for a few days, he collected all the unnatural things. Then, He left the Myriad Devil's grave and returned to the Guiyuan Sword Immortal's tomb. Whether this blood-red crystal had anything to do with the transformation of spiritual power into divine sense, he had to let Guiyuan Sword Immortal determine. Half a day later, Wang Daoyuan came to the Guiyuan Sword Immortal's tomb. Guiyuan Sword Immortal appeared from the sword and said with a smile, "Your aptitude is not bad. You can actually control power close to the Mahayana realm. Although I helped you, it is still commendable. The place you attacked was the Myriad Devil's grave. Did you find anything there?" Wang Daoyuan took out the things he found in the Myriad Devil's grave. "I caught a few devils. One of them is a descendant of the powerful devil from back then. I heard that the powerful devil was buried in the Myriad Devil's grave, so I borrowed your power to break the Myriad Devil's grave's formation. These magic tool fragments were all found in the grave of the powerful devil." Guiyuan Sword Immortal scanned with his divine sense. "I have seen these things before. They are all magic tools used by the powerful devil from back then. When I led people to attack the devil camp and killed these powerful devils, I destroyed some of the magic tools with my own hands." Wang Daoyuan took out the blood-red crystal and the blood-red sword. Guiyuan Sword Immortal sighed. "After more than 70,000 years, I didn't expect to see this thing again. This is the item of the powerful devil with unlimited divine sense." Then, he picked up the sword and looked at the words engraved on it. These words were not human language. Wang Daoyuan could not recognize them. "Mo Jun, that should be his name. I led people to kill him, but I never found out his name. Back then, I didn't fight him directly, but I saw the other 3 Earth Immortals fight him. Back then, he was holding this long sword and a blood jade seal. This blood-red crystal of yours should be a fragment of that seal." Wang Daoyuan cupped his fists and said, "Master, this blood-red crystal contains the power of divine sense and vital energy. I suspect that Mo Jun's limitless divine sense is related to this crystal." Sword Immortal Guiyuan had a look of surprise as he probed it with his divine perception. "Mo Jun's soul dissipated more than 70,000 years ago, and I saw it with my own eyes. Even magic artifacts that could preserve qi, blood, and divine sense could only be preserved for a few thousand years at most. Although I am an Earth Immortal, I have never seen a treasure that can preserve the power of divine sense and blood essence for more than 10,000 years. Although the demon race was an intelligent race and had some unique aspects, overall, they were not much stronger than the human race. Mo Jun has been dead for more than 70,000 years, but a fragment of a magic artifact could still preserve the power of divine sense and blood essence. The only reasonable explanation is that this crystal can transform spiritual energy into divine sense and blood essence." After saying that, he waved his sword finger and cut off a sesame-sized piece of the blood-red crystal. "Give me the scarlet yang real fire." Wang Daoyuan drew out a wisp of the scarlet yang real fire and burned the sesame-sized crystal. This crystal was quite extraordinary, and it did not have any reaction for a while. Sword Immortal Guiyuan waved his hand and drew out a pure spiritual energy from his sword and merged it with the scarlet yang real fire. With the help of high-grade spiritual energy, the scarlet yang real fire immediately burned fiercely. Under the burning of the flame, the blood-red crystal finally showed some changes. Although it was not ignited, the entire crystal began to soften slowly. After half a cup of tea's time, the sesame-sized crystal had completely turned into liquid. Under the burning of the flame, the blood-red crystal began to emit pure spiritual energy. However, this spiritual energy was clearly different from the spiritual energy cultivated by the human race. It should be the spiritual energy of the demon race, and it was mixed with a faint smell of blood. Sword Immortal Guiyuan put away the scarlet yang real fire. This is the refining method of the blood demon race. This material is completely condensed from blood essence. However, the cultivation of the owner of this blood essence is too high, and the grade of your spiritual fire is too low, so you won't be able to completely burn it in a short time. Then, he picked up the large crystal and poured spiritual energy into it. The power of divine sense and blood essence in the crystal clearly increased, and gradually spread out. Sure enough, it seems that Mo Jun's limitless divine sense relied on his large seal magic artifact. This magic artifact was made with his blood essence, and it can also absorb spiritual energy and transform it into divine sense. However, we can't use this divine sense, and the other demons shouldn't be able to use it either. Otherwise, this method would have been spread among the demon race. Unfortunately, although you found the secret of that year, you can't replicate this method. Wang Daoyuan did not mind. As long as there is such a method, it means that there is such a law. Since the demon race has such a method, the human race can also do it. Master, I caught a descendant of Mo Jun. I wonder if his blood will be of any use? Since it's a hopeless situation, let's give it a try. Wang Daoyuan pulled out the myriad arts demon from the Xian cauldron. Just as he was about to beg for mercy, a tiger roar sounded and directly knocked him out. Then, Wang Daoyuan took out the soul fragment in Xianbing's clone and fused it into his Yuanying. Sword Immortal Guiyuan was very interested. Your secret technique to control souls is quite interesting. Although it has the methods of the soul-devouring demon clan, most of them are still human secret techniques. The origin of this secret technique is very complicated. It was also obtained in the Qixing Si Xiuxian community. The cultivator who first created the secret technique did indeed borrow from the secret techniques of the demonic cultivators. 3 days later, Wang Daoyuan's soul fragment completely controlled this clone. This guy was called Mou. What he had said before was true. He was indeed a descendant of Mo Jun's sword. Immortal Guiyuan gave the small crystal that had been burned previously to Mou's clone. This crystal was condensed from Mo Jun's blood essence. As his descendant, Mou refined this crystal into his bloodline. Perhaps he could inherit a bit of the bloodline talent of transforming spiritual power into spiritual power. Mou's clone swallowed the small crystal and began to refine it. However, there were no obvious changes. Wang Daoyuan gave all the blood-colored crystals to Mou's clone for him to refine. Sword Immortal Guiyuan asked, "You don't want to leave any? Even you can't see any clues. There's not much use in leaving them. It's better to let Mou take a gamble. It's no big deal if he fails. However, if he succeeds, I'll be able to obtain another clone with talent comparable to Mo Jun. No matter what, I won't be at a disadvantage." Half a month later, Mou completely refined the red crystal into his body. Although this blood-colored crystal had been buried for tens of thousands of years, it was still refined from the blood essence of an almighty figure. It contained a terrifying power. Mou's cultivation was only at the middle stage of Yuanying. It was not easy to digest the power within. After refining it into his body, his cultivation broke through to the late stage of Yuanying. Unfortunately, his bloodline still did not show any obvious changes. It was not like his ancestor, Mo Jun, who could transform spiritual power into spiritual power and blood essence. Wang Daoyuan was somewhat disappointed. It seems that to obtain this secret technique, I'll have to find a spirit demon. Master, what methods do you have to prevent a spirit demon from escaping to the underworld? Disciple wants to try. Since more than 10,000 years ago, the rank 5 spiritual power in Beiyuan disappeared. The cultivation of demon beasts and humans have been greatly affected. It has only been a few decades since they recovered to rank 5. The cultivation of the spirit demons in the extreme frozen ice field should also be greatly affected. With Disciple's strength, I might be able to catch a spirit demon below rank 6. Chapter 952. The demons of the Arctic ice plains were obviously affected by the decline of spirit qi, and there was only one great demon king before. In terms of overall strength, the demons were far inferior to the West Sea. Although there was no great demon king in the West Sea, there was a group of ancient mutants. Their growth potential was much higher than the semi-divine beast great demon king of the Arctic ice plains. Since the spirit demon was a demon beast of the Arctic ice plains, its cultivation would definitely be limited by the spirit qi of the Arctic ice plains. Sword Immortal Guiyuan nodded. According to what you said, it's unlikely for a rank 6 demon beast to appear in Beiyuan Xiuxian now. With your current strength, even if you don't use Guiyuan's sword intent, there are few below rank 6 that can match you. Coupled with the Xian cauldron, the spirit demon's divine sense attack shouldn't hurt you. However, the spirit demon's strongest point isn't its divine sense attack, but its ability to travel between the two worlds. Although the spirit demon is an ancient beast, it's not a species with outstanding strength. Even before the formation of the ultimate heaven abyss, there should be low-level spirit demons. Many mighty figures entered the Arctic ice plains, but no one has ever heard of anyone capturing a spirit demon. It can be seen that ordinary methods can't keep them. There are many ways to prevent the spirit demon from entering the underworld. I can use the Great Daoi Master to interfere with the connection between the two worlds. However, this method has a high cultivation requirement, and it can't be used unless one is a mighty figure. There are many other methods, most of which are to interfere with space. You can set up a high-level ceiling formation, and you can also use space-type divine abilities. If your domain divine ability continues to improve, it can eventually turn into a space very close to a mystic realm. If you can put the spirit demon inside, it might be possible to block its escape to the underworld. Wang Daoyuan was a little discouraged. With my cultivation, it's impossible to set up such a brilliant formation. In terms of domain divine abilities, I have consulted Divine Venerable Sealing Demon in the Heaven's Mystery Tower. According to him, to seal space, one needs to be at least at the peak of the soul formation realm or the early stage of the Mahayana realm. If you want to capture the spirit demon alive, you have to cultivate to the peak of the soul formation realm. Sword Immortal Guiyuan thought for a moment. It's very difficult to seal the passage between the two worlds, but it's still possible to make the spirit demon temporarily lose its ability to escape. If you can find something to restrain the spirit demon, it will be difficult for it to escape. Spirit demons were like souls and demons. If one wanted to restrain them, one had to find something that had the ability to restrain ghosts and was related to divine beasts. In this aspect, the Valley of Beasts has experience. You can ask Myriad Spirits Patriarch. The White Tiger clan among the divine beasts had a restraining effect on soul demons. The White Tiger Hall in the Valley of Beasts had once reared a Real White Tiger divine beast. Now, there should be many White Tiger bloodline semi-divine beasts in the sky/mountain range. Go and capture a rank 5 White Tiger half-divine beast. It should be of some use against the spirit demon. With the help of the sealing formation, there's still a possibility of capturing spirit demons below rank 6. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan became spirited. I have a soul-devouring nether tiger bloodline, and it has already cultivated to rank 4 low grade. My Dao companion also has a mid-tier 5th grade blood-eye golden wing tiger. These two together should be of some use. Sword Immortal Guiyuan was taken aback. Soul-devouring dark tiger? Is this the guy who guards the entrance to the underworld? This was a mutant of the white tiger race. Among the divine beasts, apart from the dragon race, only the phoenix race's bloodline was widespread. The white tiger bloodline was extremely rare, and the soul-devouring nether tiger was even rarer. When the devil race invaded, the human race and the demon race joined forces to deal with the devil race. Among the people sent by the demon race, there was a white tiger divine beast with earth immortal cultivation. I have some friendship with that white tiger divine beast. According to him, the soul-devouring nether tiger rarely appears in the white tiger race. Moreover, the soul-devouring nether tiger is unruly. Even if it appears, it usually roams around and won't stay in the white tiger race. Back then, the Valley of Beasts obtained a few Yuan-E tigers. These guys have the soul-devouring nether tiger bloodline. The Valley of Beasts wanted to use this to cultivate the soul-devouring nether tiger. However, it was only cultivated to the peak of rank 3. It was very difficult to break through to rank 4. Most of the Yuan-E tigers had just broken through and had passed the optimal growth period. Their chi and blood declined, and it was difficult to improve. The soul-devouring nether tiger is the nemesis of all divine sense mystic arts. Unfortunately, the soul-devouring nether tiger bloodline you raised is only rank 4 low grade. If it can rise to rank 5, it should not be a problem to take down rank 5 spirit demons. As for the blood-eye golden wing tiger, it is not suitable. Although it also has the white tiger bloodline, its talent is more towards the physical body. In terms of close combat ability, it is much stronger than the average white tiger bloodline. In terms of restraining ghosts and divine sense mystic arts, it is not as good as the golden eye jade tiger. However, the golden eye jade tiger's white tiger bloodline is too low. It is still lacking in this aspect. The most valuable time for divine sense power is in the Mahayana stage, used to fuse with immortal power. Your cultivation is still far from it, and there is no need to rush now. After that soul-devouring nether tiger bloodline is cultivated to rank 5, you can take it to the extreme cold ice field to try your luck. You don't need to ask me about the situation related to the spirit demon. The Valley of Beasts and Archaic Mysteries sect have investigated the spirit demon before. They have more specific records. Wang Daoyuan really did not expect that Yuan-E, this lazy guy, could restrain the legendary spirit demon. Raising a tiger for 1,000 days. Using it for a moment. When he went back, he would put it into the space of the spirit pearl and let it cultivate well and strive to cultivate to the peak of rank 4 within 10 years. There was not much hope for it to break through to rank 5 in a short period of time. After all, the average Yuan-E tiger was only a rank 2 spirit beast. Xueqi now had a low-grade rank 4 cultivation and had broken through the limit many times. It was still very difficult to break through to the next major realm. There was no need to trouble himself with the array formation. The Spirit Pearl could play a great role. Previously, he could take down the peak rank 6 Shen Xian Cauldron in the Ziwei Hall. With Xueqi's small divine ability, there should be hope to deal with a rank 5 spirit demon. Thank you for your guidance, Master. Since Xueqi can restrain the spirit demon, Disciple has some confidence. I will go back and prepare to go to the extreme cold ice field to give it a try. After saying that, he took out a Chenkuan gourd that was more than a foot tall. Master, it's inevitable that you will feel bored staying here alone. I refined some spatial Dharma artifacts that can grow spiritual plants and raise spiritual beasts. I left one for you to relieve your boredom. There is also a rootless fire of the 5-element spiritual fire in this gourd. It can purify the chaotic and violent spiritual energy here. It won't be a problem to raise some ornamental spiritual plants. Sword Immortal Beiyuan took the gourd and probed it with his divine sense. There was a space of 1,000 feet in the gourd. In the center was a fish pond with a diameter of 10 feet. There were more than 10 Qing river carps in it. There was a bamboo forest, strange pine trees, and a small peach blossom forest around the fish pond. There were also more than 10 spotted deer and 2 rank 2 white cranes. There were 5 pearls in the air. In addition to the moon pearl and the pure yang pearl, there were also pearls of the earth, metal, and wood attributes. They were all refined with reference to the moon pearl and the pure yang pearl. Among them, there was a rootless fire of the 5-element spiritual fire. This gourd was refined by Wang Daoyuan when he was at the Blood Shadow headquarters. He kept it for Sword Immortal Beiyuan to relieve his boredom. He had guarded this place for tens of thousands of years without any living creatures to accompany him. It was quite boring. Sword Immortal Beiyuan looked at the scene in the gourd and actually revealed an excited expression. I've been guarding this place for tens of thousands of years. Other than you and your second senior brother, I only had a few stalks of grass on this grave as my companions. I haven't seen the scene in this gourd for tens of thousands of years. I really do miss it. I like this gift very much. You're very considerate. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, It's good that Master likes it. It's a rank 3 high-grade artifact. It didn't take much effort. Among the 5 pearls inside, there is a rootless fire of the 5-element spiritual fire. Master, if you want to refine Sword Immortal Beiyuan, you can also use this fire to refine the chaotic spiritual energy. I still have to go to the extreme cold icy plains to investigate. I'll visit you again in the future. Sword Immortal Beiyuan waved his hand and said, With this gourd accompanying me, I won't feel bored. If you have anything to do, go ahead and do it. There's no need to worry about me. If there's anything you can't solve, feel free to come here and ask me. Wang Daoyuan bowed again and again before leaving the heaven-ending abyss. Chapter 953. After accompanying Zhou Wan at the Blood Shadow headquarters for more than a month, he returned to Yen State. Arriving at the Imperial Study of Clear Glass City's Imperial Palace, Wang Mingchen was handling official business. Seeing Wang Daoyuan come, he hurriedly bowed. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand and said, No need to be so courteous, I came to ask Myriad Spirit Ancestor about the Soul Demon. Wang Mingchen brought out the Myriad Spirit Pagoda, and Myriad Spirit Ancestor came out of the pagoda. Daoyuan, did you find out something in Absolute Heaven Abyss? Wang Daoyuan nodded. The basic situation of that demon with unlimited divine sense power back then has already been figured out by me. I caught a descendant of his, and even dug up his cenotaph, and found something from it. That demon has the Myriad Law Demon, Blood Demon, and Soul-Devouring Demon bloodlines, and his blood has the innate ability to absorb spirit power and transform it into divine sense and chi and blood. It's just that the transformation speed is very slow, and it doesn't have much use in actual combat. However, it's still very valuable in daily cultivation. Later, he received the attention of the demon race's upper echelons, who helped him refine a large seal with blood essence, which could allow him to quickly transform divine sense and chi and blood. When the human race's major powers brought people to sneak attack him, he was completely destroyed, and the large seal was also shattered. I only found the fragment of that large seal from back then in his cenotaph, and it does have the ability to transform spirit power into divine sense and chi and blood. It's just that this thing is refined with the demon race's blood essence, and humans can't cultivate it at all. If you want to obtain the secret art of transforming spirit power into divine sense, You can only have the idea of a soul demon. The matter of that demon race's unlimited divine sense power back then was also considered a big secret among the human race's upper echelons. Myriad's spirit ancestor was also extremely curious about this. Back then, someone guessed that the demon race's unlimited divine sense power was due to bloodline. I didn't expect that they really guessed right. Right, is that magic artifact fragment still there? I can't use a single fragment, so I let that demon race's descendant refine it into his body, and see if he can inherit this bloodline talent. After he refined that fragment, there was no movement. He hasn't transformed all the spirit power in the fragment into his own use yet. Whether there will be a turn for the better in the future, I can't say. Patriarch Myriad Spirits felt somewhat regretful. It's a pity that I didn't get to see a legendary treasure. The spirit demon's ability to hide is extremely strong. Do you have a way to deal with them? I've also received some news. Legend has it that this soul demon is an ancient mutated beast. It was born at the intersection of yin and yang and can freely travel between yin and yang. The reason why the human almighties could not catch them was because they could escape into the underworld, and the human almighties could not enter the underworld as they wished. Therefore, no one had ever been able to capture a spirit demon. If he wanted to capture them, he had to destroy their means of going to the underworld. None of these methods are something a Yuanian cultivator like me can accomplish. On the other hand, Xueqi had the bloodline of the soul-devouring nether tiger. When her cultivation was higher, she might be able to suppress the soul demon. Coupled with the ceiling array formation, there was a slight chance of capturing the spirit demon. I want to give it a try now. The Valley of Beasts has been searching for spirit demons many times. You should know a lot about them, right? Patriarch Myriad Spirits took out 3 jade slips. The soul-devouring nether tiger does have the ability to restrain divine sense mystic techniques. Unfortunately, Xueqi is only a low-grade 4th-tier cultivator. Her strength is still a bit lacking. A large part of the Valley of Beasts' Black Tortoise Hall's jurisdiction was in the Arctic ice plains. Black Tortoise Hall disciples often searched for traces of spirit demons. Those who saw traces of spirit demons would report to the Black Tortoise Hall Master and the Sect Master. These jade slips recorded the traces of spirit demons. According to them, this spirit demon should be very interested in the souls of living beings. Most of the times when spirit demons were seen were beside some demon beasts that were about to die. I don't know if this thing wants to devour souls or guide souls for the underworld. When you reach the place where the spirit demons appear, you can try to use the spirit beasts that are about to die to lure them out. That's all I know. Whether you can catch them or not depends on your ability. Wang Daoyuan took the jade slip and left Qingli City for 100 Rivers Lake. The distance between the two places was less than 2,000 miles. For a peak Yuanian cultivator, it was just a short distance away. There were already many ordinary people living on the flat land along the 100 Rivers Lake. In order to increase the population, the Wang family had put in a lot of effort here. Most of the flat land that was dozens of miles away from the lake shore had been opened up into farmland. Where there was farmland, there was naturally no lack of ordinary people. The family had also estimated that if the entire 100 Rivers Lake's coastal plain was developed, it would not be a problem to feed tens of millions of ordinary people. Wang Daoyuan came to the 100 Rivers Lake to take a look at the situation. Xueqi, Wang Minglong, Wang Xianlong, and the Thunder Ape were all here. Their combined destructive power was extremely terrifying. Driving the flying boat around 100 Rivers Lake, he quickly found traces of Xueqi and Wang Xianlong. These two bastards were stealing spirit herbs from a herb garden by the lake. There were no level 4 spirit veins here, and the people guarding the estate were only at the foundation establishment stage. The two of them were level 4 spirit beasts, so it was easy for them to hide their tracks. Just as they were about to enter the herb garden, they suddenly found that they couldn't move, and their bodies were wrapped in a layer of black water spirit energy. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand, and the black tortoise purgatory flew them into the air. You two are doing this at 100 Rivers Lake? At this time, Xueqi's skin was thicker. Master, the Abyss Dragon and I are testing this junior's detection ability. If we can't even guard against our own, how can we guard against people with ulterior motives? Wang Minglong also nodded. Xueqi is right. We are testing the junior's detection ability. Wang Daoyuan snorted. Do you believe your own words? I asked you to subdue the demonic beasts in the lake. How is it going? Xueqi quickly explained. Master, don't worry. There have been no demonic beasts hurting people on both sides of 100 Rivers Lake for more than 20 years. All the demonic beasts have been subdued by me, the Abyss Dragon, and the Mystic Dragon. The disobedient ones have been turned into barbecued meat. Since you've done your job and stole some spirit herbs, I won't punish you. Yuan Yi and Wang Minglong were relieved. Wang Daoyuan dispersed the black tortoise purgatory. Abyss Dragon, you go first. I have something to talk to Yuan Yi alone. Wang Minglong felt as if he had been pardoned. He directly revealed his dragonfish form and jumped into the 100 Rivers Lake, disappearing in an instant. Yuan Yi asked with a trembling voice, Master, what are your orders? Wang Daoyuan smiled. Now you know how to be afraid. I'm not going to deal with you. I just need to use your bloodline talent. Now you should cultivate well. Only when you reach level 4 upper grade can you help me. In the future, don't think about being a tyrant at 100 Rivers Lake. Go and cultivate honestly. Before Yuan Yi could object, he directly put her into the spirit pearl space and headed north. Wang Daoyuan disguised himself as a middle-aged man and suppressed his cultivation to the middle stage of the Zifu realm. He also let his clone refine an ordinary level 3 upper grade non-attributed flying sword. Then, he flew towards the north on his sword. It took more than a month to reach the extreme frost ice plains. At the southernmost tip of the ice plains, close to the sky/mountain range, there was a city with a radius of more than 20 miles. This city was called Snow Dragon City. This city had a long history, dating back to before the invasion of the demon race. Snow Dragon City was built by the Valley of Beasts. Back then, it was also the location of a branch of the Valley of Beasts. After the Valley of Beasts was destroyed, the power of the human race shrank. More than 10,000 years ago, this city was completely controlled by the demonic beasts and half-demons. Since the recovery of spirit qi in Beiyuan, the level 5 demonic beasts had awakened. The half-demons were completely suppressed by the demonic beasts. This city also became the demonic beasts' territory. After the reconciliation between the human race and the demonic beasts, many human rogue cultivators traveled to the extreme frost ice plains. Traces of the human race appeared in Snow Dragon City again. The demonic beasts of the ice plains were still friendly to the human race and did not deliberately suppress them. Now, there were many human rogue cultivators' shops in Snow Dragon City. The main forces in the city were the demonic beasts and their affiliated half-demons. Chapter 954. There had been many records of soul demons appearing in the vicinity of Snow Dragon City. This place was relatively close to the Yen Kingdom, and was only a few 100,000 kilometers away from Clear Glass City. The Yen Kingdom had also set up a communication formation north of the mountains. Without leaving Snow Dragon City, one could directly contact Clear Glass City. There was no better place than this place to search for soul demons. The Valley of Beasts had existed for nearly 200,000 years. Although Wang Daoyuan was the son of Providence, it was more likely that he would be able to catch the soul demon after such a long time. However, there was no way he would be able to catch one as soon as he arrived at the Arctic icy plains. It was best to first find a place to settle down in Snow Dragon City before making further plans. This was the first time Wang Daoyuan had come to the Arctic icy plains. This place truly lived up to its name. Snow Dragon City was located at the edge of the Arctic icy plains, and this place was completely covered in ice and snow. The ice-type spiritual energy here was extremely dense, and because of this, the climate was extremely cold. Not to mention ordinary people, even Foundation establishment cultivators would find it hard to survive here. Cultivators who dared to casually enter Snow Dragon City were at least at the Zifu disciple level. He followed behind several loose Zifu disciple cultivators and arrived at the southern gate of Snow Dragon City. On either side of the gate were 4 muscular men with wolf ears. Clearly, they were all half-monsters. Their cultivations weren't very high, only at the early Zifu disciple level. In front of the 4 was a middle Zifu half-monster with scales on his face. He seemed to be the leader of the gate guards. When the loose cultivators arrived at the gate, the leader walked forward. "Is this your first time in Snow Dragon City?" The loose cultivators were all at the early Zifu disciple level. Upon seeing a middle Zifu half-monster, they were all very respectful. One of the middle-aged cultivators cupped his hands. "This is our first time in Snow Dragon City." The leader nodded. "Report your name, pay the entry fee of 20 spirit stones, and receive an identity medallion. You'll be able to enter the city. You are all loose cultivators of the human race. Behave yourselves in the city. If you offend monsters or half-monsters, you'll lose your life." The loose cultivators hurriedly agreed, reported their names, and paid the entry fee. The leader took out several silver medallions without any decorations, engraved their names on them, and handed them over. "Drip a drop of blood essence on them. In the future, you can use them to enter and exit the city." They respectfully received the token and walked into Snow Dragon City. He walked forward. As usual, the leader asked, "Is this your first time in Snow Dragon City?" Wang Daoyuan didn't say anything. He just nodded. Although he had restrained his aura and tried his best to suppress his qi and blood fluctuations, the foundation of his physical body was still there. This little leader's cultivation was low, so he couldn't tell his strength. However, he could tell that his physical body was extraordinary. He cupped his hands and asked, "Dao Yu, are you a half-demon?" This Snow Dragon City was the territory of the monster race, and the status of the human race was very low. For the sake of convenience, Wang Daoyuan decided to pretend to be a half-demon. Ordinary half-fiends couldn't hide their fiend characteristics, but he looked like a human. There was no time to disguise his face. He used the true dragon physical tempering technique and covered his hands with dragon scales. He wore a loose Taoist robe and his hands were hidden in the sleeves. After covering it with dragon scales, only a few fingers were exposed. His dragon scales were bright yellow and exuded an extremely pure dragon might. This small leader was also a shrewd person. His ability to observe people was not bad. Seeing the scales on his hands, he immediately showed a flattering smile. "So it's the same race. Daoyu's dragon blood is really pure. I'm far inferior." There were two strongest races in the extreme cold icy plains. One was the Black Tortoise bloodline and the other was the dragon race. The Black Tortoise bloodline wasn't like the dragon race. There weren't many of them left. The dragon race relied on their numbers and had the highest status in the extreme cold icy plains. A half-demon with extremely pure dragon blood might be the descendant of a rank 4 dragon race. Saying this, he took out a silver token with dragon patterns carved on it. "May I ask Daoyu's name?" "Jean Lin." The little leader hurriedly carved his name on the blank side of the token and gave it to Wang Daoyuan with both hands. "Jean Lin. Daoyu has the dragon bloodline. With this token, you can get discounts in any shop in the city. If you want to buy property, you can get a lot of discounts." Wang Daoyuan took the token, nodded, and entered the city. The city was protected by a formation, so the climate was much warmer. There was a rank 4 high-grade non-elemental spirit vein in the city, so the cultivation environment was much better than outside the city. Therefore, Snow Dragon City was very lively, and there were many businesses opened by human rogue cultivators. Half-demons weren't much worse than humans in terms of intelligence, and there were many businesses here. He came to a relatively luxurious restaurant in the south of the city. The words, "Latent Dragon Restaurant," were written on the signboard above the door. Although he had obtained a lot of information about soul demons from ancestor myriad spirits, it was at least 50,000 years ago. If he wanted to confirm this information, he had to investigate it himself. To inquire about information, a restaurant was the most suitable. As soon as Wang Daoyuan entered the restaurant, a cultivator who looked like a child came up to him. "Senior, I'm really sorry. Our restaurant doesn't accept human cultivators below the golden core stage." Wang Daoyuan took out the token and revealed the dragon scale on his hand. The waiter had good eyesight. He cupped his hands and apologized. "Please forgive me for not being able to see that you have dragon blood. Please forgive me. May I ask if you want to have a meal or stay? Give me 2 jars of good wine and a few of your best dishes. Also, prepare a good room for me." Then, he sat down at an empty table. The Latent Dragon Restaurant served the dishes very quickly. In 15 minutes, 5 to 6 dishes were served. The ingredients were mainly some low-level demon beast meat and some ice attribute spirit plants unique to the extreme frost icy plains. Although the demons were the rulers here and the half-demons were second, not all demons were rulers here. Some demons with no potential were still hunted down by demons, half-demons, and even humans. Wang Daoyuan ate and drank while listening to the half-demons in the restaurant. Unfortunately, the half-demons in this restaurant were basically at the Violet Palace realm. There were too few things they could come into contact with. Wang Daoyuan had been eavesdropping for more than a month and only had some understanding of the situation around Snow Dragon City. Although he didn't get any information about spirit demons, he heard a lot of information about the internal strife of the demon race. When the human race and demon race were negotiating, Wang Daoyuan made a huge concession to the demon race of the extreme frost icy plains in exchange for the demon race of the extreme frost icy plains not supporting the demon race of the heaven/mountain range. The demon race of the heaven/mountain range was alone, and under the pressure of Wang Daoyuan, they gave up their territory to the west of the heaven/mountain range. Now that the human race was powerful, the demon race didn't dare to find trouble with the human race. The demon race of the heaven/mountain range could only vent their anger on the demon race of the extreme frost icy plains. Although the two sides didn't start an all-out war, there were still many small fights. Snow Dragon City was close to the heaven/mountain range and was inevitably affected. 2 months later, Wang Daoyuan ordered a few dishes and 2 jars of good wine as usual. Just as he was eating and drinking, 3 injured late-stage Zifu disciple half-monsters walked in. A muscular man with silver draconic scales on his face called out, "Waiter, bring out all the good wine and dishes. I killed a few demons of the heaven/mountain range and received quite a few rewards. I have plenty of spirit stones." The waiter hurriedly called out, "Thank you for your hard work, my lords. The wine and dishes will be served immediately." A few dozen breaths later, the waiter brought over a few jars of wine. The 3 half-monsters each opened a jar of wine and began to drink. After drinking a jar of wine, the 3 half-monsters began to brag. The muscular man with draconic scales on his face laughed loudly. "The demons of the heaven/mountain range are a bunch of trash. 10 rank 3 gold-striped tigers surrounded the 3 of us. Not only were they unable to take us down, they even killed 7 of them." A nearby half-monster with golden bullhorns on his head laughed. "Big Brother Silver Flood Dragon is still the formidable one. He was able to take on 6 gold-striped tigers by himself. Otherwise, Brother Bear Mountain and I would have found it very hard to kill the other gold-striped tigers. The 2 of us toast to Big Brother Silver Flood Dragon." After speaking, he and the other half-monster who looked like a black bear raised their jars of wine and toasted Silver Flood Dragon. Chapter 955. Wang Daoyuan had killed quite a few golden-striped tigers before. Although they were tiger-type demon beasts, they didn't have the white tiger bloodline and weren't very talented. Ordinary golden-striped tigers could only grow to high-grade Tier 2. It was rare for them to reach Tier 3. The 10 golden-striped tigers they had dealt with were all low-grade Tier 3. If 3 late-stage Violet Palace half-demons had powerful Dharma artifacts, it wouldn't be difficult for them to deal with 10 low-grade Tier 3 golden-striped tigers. The 3 half-demons bragged to each other, and Wang Daoyuan also heard a lot of information. For example, the location of the conflict between the heaven/mountain range and the Arctic Plains demon beasts, as well as the scale of the conflict. After hearing this, Wang Daoyuan fell into deep thought. He learned from Patriarch Myriad's spirit that the places where soul demons appeared were mostly filled with dying demons. He didn't know what they were doing with the souls of those demons. If he wanted to find dying demons, the battlefield was the most suitable place. The heaven/mountain range was where the Ice Plains demon beasts and the heaven/mountain range were most likely to have soul demons. Wang Daoyuan decided to follow these 3 guys and stroll around the battlefield a few times. Maybe he could really attract spirit demons. No matter what, it was still a hope. It was difficult to find out about soul demons among a group of Violet Palace half-demons. After making up his mind, he took a jar of wine and came to the table where the 3 half-demons were sitting. "Greetings, Dao Yu." The silver Wyrm glanced at him and saw the fine dragon scales on his hand. "So you're from the same clan and your bloodline is quite pure. What's the matter, Dao Yu?" Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, "I'm Jean Lin. I've been traveling for many years and came to Snow Dragon City not long ago. I don't know how to earn cultivation resources. After hearing Dao Yu's words, I think I have some strength and want to follow you to kill the demons in the heaven/mountain range. I wonder if you 3 fellow Taoists would be willing to accept me?" The 3 half-demons looked at each other before the silver Wyrm said, "Dao Yu's bloodline is pure, so your combat strength must be quite high. At least you won't be a burden to us." It was just that doing this kind of work was like having one's life on the line. They could lose their lives at any time. This time, we were besieged by 10 golden-striped tigers. If we hadn't used our life-saving methods, we might have died. The 3 of us aren't good at anything else, and we don't have any backers. If he wanted to obtain enough resources, he could only risk his life. If Dao Yu has another way out, it's better that you don't get involved in this. Wang Daoyuan sighed. If there really was a way, we wouldn't have come to the Arctic ice plains. I was originally born in a half-demon tribe. Back then, the northern mountains were in chaos and my tribe was destroyed by the flames of war. I was lucky enough to survive. Unfortunately, he did not have any skills, so he could only wander around. A few years ago, when he was traveling in human territory, he had a conflict with other half-demons and accidentally injured a half-demon from the Green Dragon tribe. As you all know, the Green Dragon tribe has pledged allegiance to the Yen Kingdom. Now, the tribe leader has become the governor of the Yen Kingdom's Falling Stars County. I offended the Green Flood Dragon tribe and won't be able to survive over there. As I wandered around, I didn't even have a complete inheritance. If I want to increase my cultivation, I need to spend a large amount of resources and time. Where would I have the time to learn any skills? The Silver Flood Dragon patted his shoulder. We're all in the same boat. Although we half-demons have strong bodies, we still don't like the environment of the Arctic ice plains. If you can survive in the south, who would want to come here? Fine, we'll take you in. Wang Daoyuan's face was pleasantly surprised. He raised his wine jar. Many thanks to 3 brothers for taking me in. Little brother toasts to 3 brothers. After the 4 finished eating and drinking, the Silver Flood Dragon smiled. The 3 of us have a small courtyard in Snow Dragon City. If Brother Jean Lin doesn't have a place to stay, you can come and stay with us. Anyway, the courtyard is spacious enough. There's no difference between 3 people and 4 people. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands. If that's the case, it would be impolite for little brother to refuse. After paying the bill, he left with the Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2. They came to a small courtyard in the south of the city. This small courtyard was only 10 feet square. There were 5 or 6 rooms in the courtyard. Wang Daoyuan randomly picked an empty room to stay in. After staying in this small courtyard for more than a month, the injuries of the Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2 had more or less recovered. The 4 of them gathered together. The Silver Flood Dragon said, "Brothers, we've recuperated for a month. We've also prepared some magic tools and pills. It's not a good idea to stay idle like this. How about we go out and hunt the demons of the heaven-beheading mountain range?" Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan had no objections. Wang Daoyuan was eager to go out and hunt demon beasts as soon as possible. Naturally, he also had no objections. The 4 of them immediately set off. After leaving Snow Dragon City, they headed toward the northeast. After flying for more than 6,000 miles, they arrived near the main vein of the heaven-beheading mountain range. They landed in a small valley with a radius of 100 miles. Although this place was in the Arctic ice plains, due to the influence of the heaven-beheading mountain range's spiritual vein, there was not much ice and snow. There was no snow in the valley. It was a scene full of vitality. The Silver Flood Dragon said with a smile, "In the west of the heaven-beheading mountain range, the demons of the ice plains have the advantage. Most of the demons of the heaven-beheading mountain range fled to the east. However, the low-level demons did not have the ability to do so. They did not have the ability to cross the heaven-beheading mountain range. They could only stay here. However, most of the nearby areas were covered by ice and snow. Those demons with their cubs had to find places like this valley to avoid the cold. We only need to wait here for a few days. There will definitely be rank 3 demons coming to die. We can casually take down a few demon beasts and each of us can earn hundreds of thousands of spirit stones." Subsequently, the 3 of them used their hiding methods and hid in various parts of the valley, waiting for the demons to appear. After waiting for 5 or 6 days, a demon beast finally appeared. This was a small pack of howling moon wolves. There were 5 big wolves and 2 small wolves in total. After the howling moon wolves reached adulthood, they would have a cultivation of middle rank 3. Some of them could break through to rank 4. In this pack of wolves, there were 2 high rank 3 howling moon wolves. They should be the Wolf King and Wolf Queen. The other 3 adult howling moon wolves only had a cultivation of middle rank 3. The 2 small wolves only had a cultivation of high rank 1. The Silver Flood Dragon sent a voice transmission to the other 3. "This pack of wolves is not weak. However, with our strength we can still deal with them. Brother Jin Jiao and I will deal with the Wolf King and Wolf Queen. Jin Lin and Xiong Shan, you 2 deal with the 3 middle rank 3 wolves. I don't expect you to win. Just delay them for an hour. After I kill one howling moon wolf, I will be free to destroy the entire pack of wolves. If those 2 small wolves can be captured alive, we can definitely sell them for a good price. The 3 of them immediately replied through voice transmission, indicating that they agreed with his plan. Subsequently, the Silver Flood Dragon and Jin Shan quickly rushed out and entangled the Wolf King and Wolf Queen. The other 3 adult howling moon wolves wanted to surround and attack, but Wang Daoyuan and Xiong Shan quickly rushed out and entangled the 3 howling moon wolves. Wang Daoyuan did not deliberately hide his strength. His 2 hands turned into dragon claws and used the true dragon body tempering technique's accompanying spell. Killing a middle-rank 3 howling moon wolf was naturally an easy task. After fighting for less than half a cup of tea's time, Wang Daoyuan easily dealt with 2 howling moon wolves. Xiong Shan was also at the late stage of the Zifu realm, and his fighting strength was not weak. He also dealt with 1 howling moon wolf. Subsequently, the 4 of them surrounded the 2 howling moon wolves. After 100 breaths, they successfully finished the battle. The 2 small wolves could not escape and were caught by the Silver Flood Dragon. I didn't expect Jin Lin Daoyu to be so powerful. Especially his body, it can actually surpass demonic beasts of the same rank. 5 third-rank demonic beasts and 2 live wolf cubs. Selling them for 2 to 3 million spirit stones shouldn't be a problem. It should be enough for the 4 of us to live freely for a period of time. The 4 of them chatted and laughed as they left the small valley and headed towards Snow Dragon City. At this moment, 2 faintly discernible shadows appeared at the place where they were hunting demonic beasts. One of the shadows asked, "There is something wrong with that kid with the dragon claws. His dragon claws don't seem to be innate. Instead, it seems to be a special body tempering technique." The other shadow also said, "There is indeed something wrong. His body is ridiculously strong. It is impossible for a Zifu realm human or half-demon to cultivate their body to such a level. This person must be hiding a big secret. Should we chase after them and deal with them?" Chapter 956. The shadow who spoke before pondered for a long time before shaking his head. "We can't act rashly. Our clan has always been cautious to avoid being caught by humans and other demon clans. This person's body is ridiculously strong. He might have some rare treasures on him, or he might be hiding his cultivation. If he's hiding his cultivation, he might be able to fool the 2 of us. This means that his strength is far above ours. If we act rashly, we might expose our existence. Even if he's stronger than us, so what? Our clan has encountered many experts, but none of them can take us down. Our ancestor was not taken down because of his clan's talent, but also because of his cautiousness. If you want to take risks again, I'll report it to the elder, and you won't come out anymore. Big brother, please don't report it. I'll listen to you in the future. Then let's go back first and report this to the elder. How to deal with this kid will be decided by the elder." Even with Wang Daoyuan's spiritual sense cultivation, he could not find the 2 shadows in the small valley where he hunted demon beasts before. He followed Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2 and happily returned to Snow Dragon City. After returning to the small courtyard, Silver Flood Dragon said, "We've got 5 third-order howling moon wolves' bodies and 2 live wolf pups. We need to exchange them for spirit stones as soon as possible. Brother Jin Lin and I both have dragon blood, so we'll get a discount when we go out to sell things. We'll sell these things." Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan had the blood of bull and bear demon beasts respectively, so they did not have much status in the Arctic ice field. When dealing with other people, they had no right to speak. When they went out to sell things, they could not help at all. Wang Daoyuan naturally had no objection. He also wanted to take the opportunity to learn more about the business situation in Snow Dragon City. Although the Yen Kingdom had many territories in name, the Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce recruited people very quickly. At this rate, it would only take a few hundred years to develop all the non-core industries in the Yen Kingdom. At that time, if they wanted to continue to improve their strength, they could only expand outward. Although the Arctic ice field was not suitable for low-level cultivators, there were still many resources. In the endless ice field, there were countless minerals buried. 80 to 90% of the ice attribute refining materials in Beiyuan Xueqi came from the Arctic ice field. In addition to refining materials, there were also many ice attribute spirit herbs in the ice field. Most of the spirit medicines that were useful for the soul and soul were local specialties of the Arctic ice plains. Wang Daoyuan followed the silver flood dragon out of the courtyard and came to the center of Snow Dragon City. Most of the powerful shops in Snow Dragon City were located in the center of the city. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Brother Silver Dragon, which shop should we sell these things to?" Silver Wyrm smiled and said, "Of course it's to sell to the Myriad Rivers Trading Company. This Myriad Rivers Trading Company isn't simple. It was founded by the Yen Kingdom. I heard that the president is the Yen Emperor himself. Now the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could obtain treasures from the southern wasteland in the south, Snow Dragon City in the north, and even the sea in the east. If these two wolf pups were sold to other shops, they would not be able to fetch a high price at all. They might even provoke the demon clan behind the shop." The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce was the only one who didn't do any business other than trading in humans. Young demonic beasts were very popular there. He's also very generous. If we sell these things to other shops, we'll be lucky if we can sell them for 2 million spirit stones. But if we sell them to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce, 3 million spirit stones won't be a problem. Before you came, I've done business with the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce many times, so I'm familiar with them. Now that we have a good relationship, it's easy to do business." Wang Daoyuan had already given up on the daily affairs of the Yen Kingdom. He wasn't too sure about the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop in Snow Dragon City. How can the human clan have a foothold in the frozen icy plains? Aren't they afraid of the demon clan finding trouble with them? Silver Dragon smiled and said, "When the human clan and the demon clan negotiated peace, the human clan gave the Ice Plains demon clan a lot of concessions. On the contrary, the human clan attacked the sky-chopping mountain range demon clan ruthlessly. After the negotiation, the Ice Plains demon clan and the human clan didn't offend each other and their relationship was quite good. The frozen icy plains demon clan could only grow some ice spirit herbs, which couldn't satisfy the cultivation needs of the demon clan. If they want to obtain enough spirit herbs, they need to trade with the human clan. Only the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could satisfy the needs of the Ice Plains demon clan. Therefore, the Ice Plains demon clan welcomed the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce to do business. In addition, the retired emperor of the Yen Kingdom is extremely powerful. When he was at the middle Yuanying stage, he was able to kill a quasi-god beast Grand Monster King. Now that he has reached the peak of the Yuanying stage, killing a Grand Monster King should be an easy task. The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce is also an industry of the Yen Kingdom. Who would dare to offend them? Therefore, the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce is doing business in Snow Dragon City, as long as they don't openly attack the Ice Plains demon clan. Even if they do something out of line, the demon clan will turn a blind eye. The two arrived at the entrance of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop. There were 4 shops here, all of which belonged to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. A middle Zifu disciple immediately came out to greet them. "Silver Dragon, Dao Yu, what did you get this time?" This cultivator looked like a young man, and he didn't seem to have any signs of decay. He should be less than 200 years old. The technique he trained in was the legacy of the Valley of Beasts, and he was most likely a descendant of the Wang clan. There were many descendants of the Wang clan, and Wang Daoyuan truly couldn't recognize all of them. The Silver Dragon laughed. "Daoyuan, I've made a fool of myself. How could I possibly get anything good out of this life of mine? I just went out hunting with a few brothers and killed a few third-rank monstrous beasts." After speaking, he introduced, "This is a new brother who just joined us. His name is Jin Lin, and he has the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. Brother Jin Lin, Dao Yu Wang's name is Wang Dimeo, and his grandfather is a Jindan cultivator of the Wang clan." Upon hearing this name, Wang Daoyuan immediately knew who this person was. After all, he had seen the clan records before. He was the grandson of his second brother, Wang Daoxing. His talent wasn't bad, and he used to be a manager of the Wang clan's merchant hall. Afterwards, when the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce was established, some descendants of the Wang clan had to be placed there. Thus, Wang Dimeo was placed there. Only, he hadn't expected that he would come to such a dangerous place as Snow Dragon City. Wang Daoyuan clasped his hands and said, "Greetings, Daoyuan." Wang Dimeo naturally couldn't see through his disguise, or else he would have knelt down and kowtowed. "Dao Yu Jin Lin, you don't have to be so polite. Silver Flood Dragon Dao Yu, please come to the second floor to discuss business." The two followed Wang Dimeo to the second floor. At this moment, An upper-grade 4th-rank monstrous beast with a dragon horn on his head came down from the 3rd floor, accompanied by a Jindan cultivator. This Jindan cultivator wasn't a descendant of the Wang clan. He should be a rogue cultivator recruited by the Chamber of Commerce. Snow Dragon City was the foreign trade window of the extreme frozen ice plains. The shop here might develop into a branch in the future, so naturally, there would be a Jindan cultivator overseeing it. This guy with a dragon horn on his head was an old acquaintance. This guy was called Frost Flood Dragon. Wang Daoyuan had interacted with him when he was still a late-stage Jindan cultivator. At that time, he was already an upper-grade 4th-rank monstrous beast. After more than 100 years, his cultivation hadn't improved. However, his bloodline had improved a lot, and the single horn on his head had become a pair of forked dragon horns. Back then, Frost Flood Dragon was one of the upper echelons of the extreme frozen ice plains. Now that his bloodline had improved, his status wouldn't decline. Frost Flood Dragon wasn't worth mentioning in front of Wang Daoyuan, but he was still a big shot in Snow Dragon City. Such a person wouldn't come here personally to buy anything. He must have come here to discuss something important with the Yen Kingdom. Of course, with his status, he wasn't qualified to discuss anything important. The Jindan cultivator overseeing the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce also didn't have any decision-making power. Frost Flood Dragon was most likely here to prepare for the meeting between the upper echelons of both sides. The Yen Kingdom didn't have any conflicts with the monstrous beasts. The strongest cultivator in the Wind Snow Divine Palace was only an early-stage Yuanian cultivator. They couldn't take down the Grand Demon King even with their legendary Dharma artifacts. In addition, they had to keep an eye on the West Sea and couldn't find trouble with the monstrous beasts in the ice plains. The extreme frozen ice plains monstrous beasts could only deal with the monstrous beasts in the sky/mountain range. That. Chapter 957. Now, Wang Daoyuan could not reveal his identity, so he pretended not to know Frost Jiao. With Frost Jiao's cultivation, he could not see through his disguise. He, Wang Dimeo, and Silver Jiao all bowed to Frost Jiao. Then, the Golden Core cultivator of Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce sent Frost Jiao out of the door, and the two followed Wang Dimeo to a spacious secret room on the 2nd floor. Wang Dimeo cupped his hands and said, "Dao Yu, take out whatever good things you have." Silver Jiao took out 6 spirit beast bags. "These are our gains this time. Dao Yu, take a look." Wang Dimeo used his divine sense to check the 6 spirit beast bags one by one. When he checked the demon beast corpses, his expression was very calm. After all, there were many people hunting demon beasts in the frozen ice field, and Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop bought demon beast corpses the most. When he saw the 2 wolf pups, his face lit up. "Silver Jiao, Daoyu's harvest is indeed not small. 5 rank 3 howling moon wolves and 2 wolf pups are still alive." Wang Daoyuan shook his head inwardly. Wang Dimeo could not hide his emotions. He still needed some time to practice. Silver Jiao smiled. "It's just a small harvest. You've seen the things, so give me a price. I'm considered a regular customer of your shop, so I'll give you a discount." "That's easy. Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce has always been particular about doing as the Romans do. In Snow Dragon City, all demon beasts and half-demon beasts with dragon and black tortoise bloodlines will have a discount. Dao Yu both meet this condition, so I'll give you a reasonable price. 2 rank 3 upper-rank howling moon wolves for a total of 1,000,000 spirit stones. 3 mid-rank howling moon wolves for a total of 1,200,000 spirit stones. As for the 2 wolf pups, I'll give you 400,000 spirit stones. According to your status, I'll raise the price by 10%. The total is 2,860,000 spirit stones. In the entire Snow Dragon City, only Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce can give you this price. Other shops can give you 2,000,000 spirit stones." Silver Jiao's face was already filled with satisfaction, but he still asked for a higher price. "Dao Yu, give me a bit more. We've been doing business for several years. I also heard that the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce has been purchasing young demonic beasts, wanting to nurture them into spirit beasts. These 2 wolf pups only had the cultivation of 1st stage upper grade. They must have been born not long ago. With a bit of training, it can become a powerful spirit beast." Wang Dimeo didn't continue to argue. "This price is already not low, but for the sake of these 2 spirit beast cubs, I'll raise the total price to 3,000,000 spirit stones." You've seen my sincerity. If I raise the price again, I'll have another black mark on my record. Even if I don't do business, I won't affect my future. Now that the Wang clan had more clansmen, they could no longer manage the clan as roughly as before. Rules had to be established in all aspects. He also began to learn from the experiences of the major powers in arranging the positions of the various clansmen. Other than a few exceptionally talented disciples, the rest of the people's treatment and position changes were all dependent on their daily performance. Wang Dimeo's talent was not bad, but he only had 3 spirit veins, and his main spirit vein was more than 7 inches long. There were more than 100 of such talented clansmen in the Wang family. Although he had Wang Daoxing as his backer, Wang Daoxing's status was not too high. If he wanted to stand out, he could only rely on his own ability. The silver flood dragon nodded in satisfaction. We'll follow Daoyou's price. Then, he handed over all 6 spirit beast pouches. Wang Dimeo took the spirit beast pouches and took out a storage pouch. Here are 30,000 mid-grade spirit stones. You can count them. The silver flood dragon smiled. I still trust the reputation of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. This time, hunting the howling moon wolves was too easy. The 4 of them were not injured, and their magic tools, spirit talismans, healing pills, and other things were not used. The silver flood dragon was not in a hurry to buy these things. He only bought 2 bottles of pills to improve his physical strength. Then, the 2 of them returned to the small courtyard. The silver flood dragon took out the storage pouch containing the spirit stones. This time, we sold 3 million spirit stones. According to the previous rules, the demon beasts killed alone belong to the slayer. The cups caught will be divided equally among the 4 of us. Wang Daoyuan killed 2 third-grade mid-grade howling moon wolves alone, so he should have received 800,000 spirit stones. Together with the equal distribution of the cubs, he received more than 900,000 spirit stones. After dividing the spirit stones, Xueqi asked, why don't we have another meal? Wang Daoyuan shook his head. The cultivation technique I cultivate is incomplete. I will have to change it in the future. Now that I have some spirit stones, I should save them first and buy a new cultivation technique in the future. Seeing that he was not interested, Xueqi did not force him. He went to the restaurant with the silver flood dragon and golden horn to eat and drink. After they left, Wang Daoyuan took out a communication jade talisman and sent a message to Wang Mingchen, asking him what the demons wanted to discuss with the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. Half a day later, Wang Mingchen sent a message. Clear Glass City had also just received a report from the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. The Ice Flood Dragon of the Extreme Frost Icy Plains had sent him to negotiate with the Yen Kingdom. He wanted to do a big business. The Ice Flood Dragon did not say what the business was. He only hoped to meet with the Yen Emperor. The Ice Flood Dragon did not dare to show himself easily. With Wang Daoyuan's current strength, he had no hope of escaping if he wanted to kill him. Wang Mingchen did not dare to make a decision easily because it concerned the relationship between the human race and the demon race. After receiving the message, Wang Daoyuan immediately replied. Wang Mingchen received Wang Daoyuan's reply. After reading it, he smiled and said, Father's guess is similar to ours. The Ice Plains demon race wants to join forces with the Yen Kingdom to deal with the sky-chopping mountain range demon race. Father means that they can send people over to negotiate. As long as it does not involve the important secrets of the Yen Kingdom, business can be discussed. As for joining forces to deal with the enemy, that is wishful thinking. Wang Shui also looked at the jade talisman. This is a good solution. We humans are not suitable to get involved in the internal conflicts of the demon race. Otherwise, the people we send will be easily attacked. Since Daoyuan has agreed, we should reply to them as soon as possible and allow the Ice Plains demon race to send envoys to negotiate with us. Wang Mingchen nodded and sent a message to Snow Dragon City. A month later, 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons boarded the flying boat of Snow Dragon City's Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce and flew south. Wang Mingshan of the Yen Kingdom's Honglu Temple personally led people to Guiyan City to welcome them. Then, he led the 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons to Qingli City. Wang Mingchen received them in the Imperial Extreme Hall. This was the highest standard for receiving envoys. It could be said that he placed the Ice Plains demon race on the same level as the human race. The human race and the demon race had always looked down on each other. It was not easy to achieve this. The 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons also knew etiquette. They came to the Imperial Extreme Hall and bowed to Wang Mingchen. North Mountain demon races Han Jiao and Xueqi greet the Yen Emperor. Han Jiao was the demon race that contacted the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce in Snow Dragon City. He was appreciated by the Ice Dragon Great Demon King and had a good status. Xueqi was a rather muscular youth. He was the envoy sent by the Ice Plains demon race's Black Tortoise lineage. Wang Mingchen waved his hand and said, "No need to be so polite. The Great Demon King of the Ice Plains wants to do business with the Yen Kingdom." "What business is it?" Han Jiao cupped his hands and said, "After the peace talks between the demon race and the human race, the demon race of the Ice Plains and the human race did not offend each other. Both sides had lived in peace for several decades, and trade had been very frequent. Both clans had benefited greatly. However, the demon race of the Heaven/Mountain Range was dissatisfied with the peace talks. They were afraid of the Yen Kingdom's retired emperor and did not dare to go against the human race. They wanted to rope in the demon race of the Ice Plains to deal with the human race. Naturally, the demon race of the Ice Plains did not want to be enemies with the human race. Therefore, we rejected the proposal of the demon race of the Heaven/Mountain Range. The Fire Phoenix Great Demon King held a grudge and wanted to forcefully annex the demon race of the Ice Plains to deal with the human race. The demon race of the Ice Plains is spread across the vast Ice Plains. Even the Ice Dragon Great Demon King could not gather enough manpower. Therefore, the demon race of the Ice Plains has always been at a disadvantage. The Great Demon King sent me to ask for help from the Yen Kingdom and ask the Yen Emperor to help the demon race of the Ice Plains." Chapter 958. After hearing Ice Flood Dragon's words, Wang Mingchen knew that this was indeed the case. The Ice Plains demon race wanted to drag the Yen Kingdom down with them to deal with the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race. He gave Wang Daochong a look, and Wang Daochong immediately understood. "The Yen Kingdom is very tempted by your words. However, the Extreme Frost Ice Plains demon race and the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race belong to the demon race. In the eyes of humans they are all the same. If we join forces with the Ice Plains demon race, we won't even be able to differentiate between friend and foe when we deal with the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race. Furthermore, the Yen Kingdom is also a top power of the human race and is guarding a region for the human race. If we join forces with the demon race, what will the other human powers think of the Yen Kingdom?" This was almost a declaration. Of course, as the Yen Kingdom's emperor, Wang Mingchen naturally couldn't say it directly. If his subordinate said it first, there would be room for negotiation if there was a problem. At this moment, Xueqi, who had been silent all this while, cupped his hands and said, "The Yen Kingdom doesn't need to join forces with the Ice Plains demon race. They only need to attack the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race's territory in Linhai State. This way, the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race won't dare to attack the Extreme Frost Ice Plains. At that time, the Ice Plains demon race will be able to gather the strength to gain the upper hand and suppress the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race." Once this was said, Wang Mingchen and the other two's expressions changed drastically. Asking the Yen Kingdom to reduce the pressure on the Ice Plains demon race was no different from a fart. Once the Yen Kingdom killed a few rank 4 or 5 demons, the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race would definitely hold a grudge and attack the Yen Kingdom's industries. The Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries extended from the southern wilderness to the northern mountains. They were all close to the Heaven/Mountain Range and were distributed in a belt shape. As long as they were attacked by a strong enemy, they would be unable to take care of each other. Rank 4 and Rank 5 demon beasts could cross the Heaven/Mountain Range and attack any of the Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries. The Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries that spanned hundreds of thousands of miles would be on fire. No matter how capable Wang Daoyuan was, he wouldn't be able to protect such a large area. There was no need to even mention Linhai Prefecture. The Heavenly/Mountain Range had sealed off the 10,000 Rivers Valley, cutting off the connection between Linhai Prefecture and Qingli Prefecture. If he sent out a few more nascent Soul Realm Demon Kings to attack, there would be no survivors of the human race in Linhai State. He had paid such a huge price to relieve the pressure on the Ice Plains demon race. If the Ice Plains demon race were to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, it would become a one-on-one battle between the Yen country and the Heaven/Mountain Range demon race. When both sides were injured, they would come out to pick the fruits of their labor. It was true that Wang Daoyuan was strong enough to kill all the demons on the surface. However, the Heavenly/Mountain Range was such a large territory, and many mountain peaks were deep in the 9 heavens astral wind layer. Even a divine transformation stage cultivator would have a hard time finding a place where a 5th-grade demon could hide. Whenever they were free, they would come out to cause trouble. In the future, the Yen Kingdom would have to give up all the territories south of the Wanchuan River, let alone expand. Wang Shui snorted, "Xian Yu Daoyou's proposal, please forgive the Yen Kingdom for not accepting it. It's not convenient for us humans to get involved in the internal affairs of the demon race. If the two envoys have nothing else to say, please leave." Wang Mingchen's face was also filled with anger, looking like he was about to flip out at any moment. Han Jiao was experienced in diplomacy. Before the spirit qi in Beiyuan Xiuxian was restored, he had been dealing with humans and half-demons. He also sensed the problem in Xian Yu's words. However, both of them represented the Ice Plains demon race, so he could not expose them directly. Now that everyone in the Yen Kingdom was angry, he quickly said, "Your Majesty, please don't be angry. Xian Yu Dao Yu has the bloodline of the Xian Wu. Their clan is not good with words. If they have offended you in any way, please forgive them, Your Majesty." Wang Mingchen also said coldly, "If you want to talk, then talk. Don't make such rude requests. Minister Zhua has said that the Yen Kingdom will not directly participate in the battle between the demon race. No matter what the Ice Plains demon race offers, the Yen Kingdom will not participate." Han Jiao was relieved. He did not plan to let the Yen Kingdom participate in the battle. He just wanted to fight for it. Since he could not fight for it, he had to talk. "Your Majesty, the extreme zero ice plains is very cold. Only ice spirit plants can survive. All kinds of spirit herbs are very scarce. If it was during normal times, it would be fine. Now that we are fighting with the sky-beheading mountain range demon race, we need a lot of resources to recover our spirit qi and heal the injured demons. The extreme zero ice plains is lacking in these resources, so we need to buy them from the Yen Kingdom." Wang Mingchen nodded. "Wang Mingkong is in charge of the trade. I will summon him to the palace and let him talk with you." Soon, Wang Mingkong came to the Imperial Extreme Palace and bowed to Wang Mingchen. "Brother, you don't have to be so polite. The Demon King of the Extreme Zero Ice Plains sent an envoy to discuss trade with us. You are usually in charge of this, so you can discuss it." Wang Mingkong bowed and said yes, then asked Han Jiao, "May I know what the two emissaries want to buy?" Xian Yu said, "The flying warships of the humans are good. If you can sell some to us, the Extreme Zero Ice Plains demon race can quickly gather enough power. By then, the biggest advantage of the sky-beheading mountain range demon race will be gone." Hearing this, everyone in the palace shook their heads secretly. The black tortoise bloodline of the northern mountain range demon race was really lacking. They sent such an idiot to touch their sore spot. Flying warships were one of the important advantages of the humans over the demon race. With these things they could quickly transport people. Whether it was a human or a demon, even a rank 5 demon or a Yuanian cultivator could only fly a few 100,000 miles by themselves. If they could take a flying warship or a flying warship, as long as they had enough spirit stones and manpower, it would be easy to fly a few 100,000 miles. If the demon race obtained enough flying warships, the biggest advantage of the humans would be gone. It was impossible to sell something that could settle down in the demon race, no matter how many spirit stones they had. Wang Mingkong refused. The Yen Kingdom never sells flying warships. Even if it is a flying warship, it will not be sold easily. Please change your request. Xian Yu still wanted to say something, but Han Jiao glared at him and said, "The Ice Plains demon race lacks all kinds of spirit herbs the most. This is also one of the biggest advantages of the sky-beheading mountain range. After all, there are many kinds of spirit herbs in the sky-beheading mountain range. I hope that the humans can sell a large number of rank 4 healing and spirit qi pills. It would be even better if there are rank 5 pills. Rank 4 and below pills are not a problem. But rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs require a lot of time to cultivate. You also know that the Yen Kingdom has only been established for a short time, and we have cultivated very few rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs. The rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs that we have are all purchased from various forces. It is not a problem to sell a portion of them to the Ice Plains demon race. However, it is beyond our ability to sell in large quantities. As for rank 5 spirit herbs, the Yen Kingdom is powerless. Beiyuan Xiuxian's spirit qi has just recovered to rank 5. Even the spirit herbs that have regressed to the peak of rank 4 are difficult to break through to rank 5 in such a short time. In the entire Beiyuan Xiuxian, Only the retired emperor of the Yen Kingdom has some rank 5 spirit herbs, and the raw materials are all rank 5 spirit herbs found overseas. Han Jiao smiled. It is not bad to have some rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs, but the quantity must be more. There are many rank 3 and rank 4 demons on both sides, and there are too few spirit herbs. It is not useful. Just as Wang Mingkong was about to speak, Xuan Yu asked, I heard that the retired emperor of the Yen Kingdom is skilled in refining. He can use rank 4 materials to refine rank 5 magic artifacts. I wonder if you can sell some rank 5 magic artifacts to the Ice Plains demon race? Han Jiao was almost angered to death by this wooden club. The physical body of a human was far inferior to that of a demon race. Magic artifacts were an important means for humans to make up for the lack of physical body. If he sold rank 5 magic artifacts to the demon race, he would be selling his trump card. It was good enough to buy some rank 4 magic artifacts, but he wanted rank 5 magic artifacts and asked the retired emperor of the Yen Kingdom to do it personally. Even if Ice Flood Dragon came personally, he would not dare to ask. How can a bastard like you be so shameless? Chapter 959. Wang Mingchen looked at Xuan Yu coldly. Is the Black Tortoise bloodline going to go extinct? Why are they sending everyone here? My father is the most powerful person in Beiyuan Shouxian. Even the great demon king of your demon race has to be courteous to my father. You're just a 4th-rank upper-class demon. What right do you have to order my father around? Xuan Yu immediately realized that he had said something wrong. However, he was from the Black Tortoise bloodline. Eating scales was a skill passed down from his ancestors. His stubbornness flared up. He refused to admit his mistake. Han Jiao was afraid that something big would happen. He quickly said, Xuan Yu is clumsy and doesn't know how to speak. Although his words offended the retired emperor, it was an unintentional mistake. I hope your majesty won't blame him. Wang Shui snorted. It's not surprising that demons don't know how to be polite. However, 4th-rank demons are not inferior to humans. The Arctic Ice Plains is vast and there should be many 4th-rank demons. You can't even find one who knows how to speak? Han Jiao was very embarrassed. There were many demons who knew how to be polite. However, the Black Tortoise bloodline was rare and they were all stubborn. It was very difficult to find one who knew how to be polite. In the Arctic Ice Plains, the Black Tortoise bloodline had a high status. How could there not be a Black Tortoise bloodline demon present to discuss such a big matter? Han Jiao had no choice but to bite the bullet and say, the Black Tortoise bloodline is a little eccentric. It's inevitable that they don't know how to be polite. This is just his mistake. It doesn't represent the Arctic Ice Plains demon race. Xuan Yu, I'll discuss the rest. You don't have to say anything. Wang Mingchen waved his hand. I won't affect the relationship between our two families over such a small matter. It's not convenient for the Yen Kingdom to interfere with the internal affairs of the demon race. Our cooperation can only be done on the commercial level. Wan Chuan Chamber of Commerce can handle this. I'll leave the rest to my brother to discuss with you. Han Jiao wanted to ask the Yen Kingdom to sell more precious spiritual items. Now that Xuan Yu had interfered, it was good that the Yen Kingdom was willing to continue the discussion. Regardless of whether the items were good or bad, if they could buy more, it would increase the strength of the Arctic Ice Plains demon race. He clasped his hands and bid farewell to Wang Mingchen before leaving the Imperial Extreme Hall with Xuan Yu and Wang Mingkong. After the human and the two demons walked away, Wang Mingchen heaved a sigh of relief. It's said that demons aren't good at playing mind games. It seems that this saying is unreliable. They can even think of dragging the Yen Kingdom into the water to take the blow for them. It seems that there are experts among the demons. The Yao clan's wishful thinking was very good, but unfortunately, those who had the ability did not dare to show up. They could only send out a second-rate Frost Jiao and a useless Xuan Yu. Wang Shui smiled and said, It's not bad to do business with Shanbei. We can set the price higher. When the demon race doesn't have enough spirit stones, they can only sell large amounts of the local products of the Arctic Ice Plains in exchange for our resources. The spirit herbs produced in the extreme cold ice field were very beneficial in improving one's spiritual sense. It was really difficult to find such spirit herbs in other places. With our resources, the strength of the ice field demon race will also increase. The more they fight and the more they consume, the better it is for the development of the Yen Kingdom. After we fully understand the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts, we will have a few more Yuanian cultivators. We can try to completely eliminate the sky-beheading mountain range's demons like the Valley of Beasts and occupy the entire sky-beheading mountain range. In the Chamberlain of Dependencies, Minister Wang Mingshan and Vice President Wang Mingkong of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce began to discuss the expansion of their business with Frost Jiao and Xian Yu. Wang Mingshan did not care about the business, and Xian Yu had no right to speak. The two of them were just side characters. Both sides had no objections to the sale of elixirs, Dharma artifacts, and spirit talismans that were grade 3 and below. Soon, everything was settled. The demons of the Arctic ice plains agreed that they could buy as much as the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could ship over. Array discs were useless. The Yen Kingdom would not sell grade 5 array discs. Grade 4 array discs were vulnerable in front of grade 5 demons. Both sides had some disputes about grade 4 spirit items. The Yen Kingdom agreed to sell a small amount of grade 4 elixirs and Dharma artifacts. The grade 4 Dharma artifacts were simple offensive and defensive Dharma artifacts. Artifacts that were more complicated or had extremely high value would definitely not be sold. Frost Jiao asked indirectly if the Yen Kingdom could sell grade 3 flying boats. Although grade 3 flying boats could not directly participate in the battle like flying warships, they were much slower. However, in terms of transporting manpower, they were not inferior to flying warships. On the contrary, because the boat was lighter, it consumed less energy. If the demons had a large number of flying boats, the humans would not be able to defend against them. Doing this business was no different from selling one's ancestral grave. No matter what conditions Frost Jiao offered, Wang Mingkong rejected it. After 2 days of discussion, they only reached an agreement. The humans would sell grade 3 elixirs, Dharma artifacts, and spirit talismans in bulk. They would only sell a small amount of grade 4 elixirs and Dharma artifacts, but not spirit talismans. Seeing that the Yen Kingdom was determined, Frost Jiao did not continue to dawdle. Both sides reached an agreement. The demons of the Arctic ice plains would purchase the goods of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce at double the market price. The transportation of goods would naturally be done by the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce also decided to set up a branch in Snow Dragon City, and send a capable person to be the branch president to manage the business between the Chamber of Commerce and the demons of the Arctic ice plains. Wang Mingchen was also worried that cooperating with the demons would affect the reputation of the Yen Kingdom. The imperial court of the Yen Kingdom did not stand on the stage. Instead, they used the name of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce to do business with the demons of the Arctic ice plains. After Wang Mingkong finished his discussion with the demons, Frost Jiao and Xian Yu boarded the flying boat of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce and returned to Snow Dragon City. Wang Daoyuan was still in disguise in Snow Dragon City. Since they had made a fortune from the last hunt, Silver Jiao and the other two did not plan to do anything in the short term. Wang Daoyuan used cultivation as an excuse to stay in the small courtyard all day. At this moment, a communication jade talisman on his body lit up. He took out the communication jade talisman and said with a smile, "The business is done. The demons of the Arctic ice plains will definitely make a big move." Not long after, Silver Jiao and the other two drunkenly returned to the small courtyard. Once Silver Jiao entered the small courtyard, he shouted, "Brother Jin Lin, the three of us went out to drink. We heard good news." Wang Daoyuan walked out of the room. "Brother Silver Jiao, what good news?" "The city lord has announced that he wants to establish the Snow Dragon Army and the Xuanwu Army, and is recruiting talents. Demons and half-demons with dragon bloodline can join the Snow Dragon Army without taking the test as long as their cultivation has reached the 3rd level of the lower class or the early stage of the Violet Palace realm. Moreover, once you enter the Snow Dragon Army, you can become a small leader. Needless to say, even if there is no war, you will receive a salary of 5,000 spirit stones a month. If you can make contributions, you will be rewarded with a large amount of spirit stones. The demons you hunt can be sold at market price. This way, if we join the Snow Dragon Army, we will not only earn spirit stones from hunting demons, but we will also receive a salary and rewards for free. Cultivators without dragon bloodline can also join the Snow Dragon Army as long as they are strong enough. After the two of us enter the Snow Dragon Army and become leaders, we will be able to pull in Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan. The 4 brothers will be together and can take care of each other." "Oh right, isn't there a problem with your cultivation method? As long as you can make contributions in the Snow Dragon Army, the higher-ups may reward you with cultivation methods." After hearing this news, Wang Daoyuan thought to himself, The demons of the ice plains want to recruit soldiers and buy horses to expand their strength. After negotiating a deal with the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild, they will be able to obtain more resources. Then they will recruit soldiers and buy horses to expand their strength. When the Snow Dragon Army and the Xuanwu Army have recruited enough people, they will attack the demons of the Sky-Beheading Mountain Range. He had not come to the extreme frozen ice plains to help the demons fight, but to catch spirit demons. Spirit demons like to appear in places where demons were about to die. Once the two demon races wantonly fought, the number of casualties would be large, and the possibility of attracting spirit demons would be high. Thinking of this, he should actively participate. There is such a good thing? I can get a lot of spirit stones for free, and I might even get a suitable cultivation method. I cannot miss this opportunity. Chapter 960. Seeing Wang Daoyuan agree, Silver Flood Dragon was overjoyed. It's good that brother Jin Lin agrees. If the four of us join the Snow Dragon Army, we'll be able to look after each other. Right now, the notice has just been posted, and many people haven't made up their minds. There shouldn't be many people willing to join the Snow Dragon Army. If we go now, the Snow Dragon Army might give us better conditions in order to recruit more people. Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't have any objections. Even if the Yao played some tricks, what could they do to him? Even if the Grand Yao Kings of the Icy Plains came out, they would be nothing more than food. If we can find a good position, we'll be able to accumulate merits faster in the future. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. If the two of us go first, we'll definitely pass. After we find a position, we'll recommend Xiong Shan and Jin Zhao. As long as they pass, the two of us will be able to contribute and perhaps even receive a reward. Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't have any objections. He followed Silver Flood Dragon out of the courtyard, arriving near the City Master's mansion at the center of the city. To the west of the City Master's mansion was a military camp. This was originally where the city guard of Snow Dragon City was stationed. Right now, the city guard had been split into two, one for the Snow Dragon Army and the other for the Xuanwu Army. In the future, when the Snow Dragon Army was stationed here, they would naturally recruit people here as well. Wang Daoyuan and Silver Flood Dragon arrived at the entrance of the military camp. There was a small room here, and on the wall next to the door was a recruitment notice. The two of them entered the room. The furnishings inside were extremely simple. There were only two tables, one of which had a large pile of storage pouches on it. There were more than 300 of them. There were 3 other people in the room. One of them was an early-stage Zifu disciple, while the other 2 were late-stage Zifu disciple. The scholar asked, "Have the 2 of you come to join the Snow Dragon Army?" Silver Flood Dragon replied, "Yes. Take out your medallions to prove your identities. After I register you, you will be official members of the Snow Dragon Army." Wang Daoyuan and Silver Flood Dragon took out their medallions. When the scholar saw their dragon medallions, he immediately revealed a respectful expression. "The 2 of you have dragon blood. According to the city master's orders, half Yao with dragon blood will have to join the Snow Dragon Army, at least be a 10-man commander." Now that there was a shortage of manpower, this position was temporarily empty. However, the salary was real. It would be even better if the 2 of you could recruit people on your own. Before that, please reveal your dragon chi to verify your identities. This was naturally not a problem for Wang Daoyuan. His own dragon blood was extremely thin and could almost be regarded as non-existent. However, after cultivating the true dragon body tempering art for so many years, he had absorbed too much dragon chi, so releasing some of it was not a difficult task. Soon, both of them were enveloped by a layer of dragon chi. This scholar did not have the bloodline of the dragon race, so he naturally could not sense it. However, the 2 burly men beside him were true dragons. One of the muscular men nodded. Indeed, they all have the bloodline of the dragon clan, especially this golden scale Dao Yu. His dragon chi is extremely pure. His dragon clan bloodline should have come directly from a true dragon, not from a flood dragon or other dragon species. Jinlin Dao Yu, you also have the bloodline of the dragon race, and you are also part of the Snow Dragon Army. Please take care of me in the future. For cultivators like the Silver Flood Dragon, their dragon blood came from dragons. Not only did they have the bloodline of humans and dragons, but they also had the bloodline of snakes and crocodiles. This kind of bloodline was rather heterogeneous, so it was a bit lacking for them to cultivate the techniques and spells of the dragon clan. If they really had the bloodline of the true dragon and cultivated the techniques and spells of the dragon clan, their power would not be inferior to that of a flood dragon. We don't dare. In the future, we will have to rely on Daoyou's support. The scholar quickly finished the registration. The other muscular man took out 2 storage bags and gave them to the 2. The storage bags contained 10,000 spirit stones for settling in. The 2 of you have the bloodline of the dragon clan, so you will receive 5,000 more than the other half-beasts. As for your positions, we cannot make the decision. The Snow Dragon Army's general is in the camp. You can go in and greet him now. With Brother Jean Lin's bloodline of the true dragon, you will definitely be appreciated by the general. The 2 took the storage bags and walked out of the small room, entering the camp. The camp was 200 feet wide and there were small rooms on all sides. There was a large empty space in the center, which should be the gathering place. Soon, a late-stage Zifu disciple dressed in silver armor walked forward. Are you new members of the Snow Dragon Army? The Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly replied, We just registered outside. We have the bloodline of the Dragon Clan and need the general to arrange positions for us. Follow me. The 2 of them followed the armored cultivator to the deepest part of the camp. There was a fairly spacious room here. The armored cultivator cupped his hands in front of the door and said, General, 2 dragon bloodline half-beasts have joined the Snow Dragon Army. A loud voice sounded from inside. Let them in. The 2 of them walked into the house and saw a dignified man wearing bright silver armor in the house. This person was at the mid-golden core stage. His hair and beard were ice blue, and there were 2 forked ice blue dragon horns on his forehead. The dense draconic aura he emitted showed that he was definitely not a half-beast, but a flood dragon with an extremely pure bloodline. He glanced at the 2 and then his gaze stopped on Wang Daoyuan. What a powerful body, and your aura is quite extraordinary. It actually makes me feel a trace of respect. It seems that your ancestor must have had a high status in the dragon clan. It's a pity that your cultivation is only at the mid-Zifu disciple stage. If you were at the peak of the Zifu disciple stage, it wouldn't be a problem for you to become a captain. After saying this, he took out a silver command medallion. How about this? You'll be a centurion for now. Your monthly salary will be 7,000 spirit stones. The Snow Dragon Army has just been established and doesn't have many people. Although you have the position of a centurion, you don't have any subordinates. I'll give you the authority to recruit people on your own. If you fancy someone, register them at the entrance of the camp and they'll all be under your command. As for the 10 decurions under your command, you can arrange them as you see fit. However, I have a request. The decurions have to be at least at the late Zifu disciple stage. It's even better if they have the bloodline of the dragon clan. This flood dragon seemed to think quite highly of him. He was given the position of a centurion as soon as he arrived, and he even had the authority to appoint decurions. This was clearly an attempt to recruit people and increase his own strength. It seemed that the demon clan was very similar to the demon clan in that they also fought for power. Wang Daoyuan pretended to be moved to tears and bowed. Thank you for your appreciation, General. The Snow Dragon Army's commander had a satisfied expression. If an ordinary half-demon received such treatment, they would have knelt down and pledged their loyalty. You're still so calm even after receiving such treatment. As expected of someone with the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. My name is Bing Ho. If you have any trouble in Snow Dragon City, feel free to look for me. Your companion also has the bloodline of the Dragon Clan, and his cultivation has reached the late Zifu disciple stage. He's more than qualified to be a decurion. He'll be under you. He then took out 10 black command medallions. These are the command medallions for decurions. Engrave the name of whoever you want to appoint as decurion and register them at the entrance. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands in acknowledgement and left Bing Ho's room with the silver flood dragon. He couldn't help but sigh. The demon clan was so gullible. They believed him so easily. If they really wanted to deal with the demon clan, they could have recruited a group of Zifu disciples from the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild. At that time, it would have been easy to turn the Snow Dragon Army into subordinates of the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild. The Silver Flood Dragon sent a message to Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan. Not long after, the 2 arrived at the entrance of the camp. Wang Daoyuan took out 3 black command medallions and engraved the names of the 3 people on them. Then, the 4 of them entered the small room where the registration was done. After taking out the command medallions, the scholar hurriedly stood up and bowed. Greetings, Lord Centurion. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. No need for formalities. General Bing Ho has appointed me as a centurion and has given me the authority to appoint decurions. My 3 brothers have reached the required cultivation and have been appointed as decurions. Quickly register them. The scholar repeatedly acknowledged and recorded the identities of the 4 people. Chapter 961. After registering, the 4 came to the Hidden Dragon restaurant and ordered a table of good wine and dishes. Silver Dragon raised his wine bowl and toasted to Wang Daoyuan. Congratulations to Brother Jean Lin for becoming a centurion of the Snow Dragon Army. In the future, we 3 brothers will have to thank you for taking care of us. Wang Daoyuan also raised his wine bowl. We are brothers. There is no need to say these things. If not for Brother Silver Dragon's reminder, I would not have joined the Snow Dragon Army. I should be the one toasting you. After saying that, the 2 of them drank the wine in one gulp. Then, Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan also raised their wine bowls to Wang Daoyuan. After all, they did not have the bloodline of the dragon race. After joining the Snow Dragon Army, they would most likely be ordinary soldiers. Although their cultivation was enough to be a decurion, the position of a decurion was given priority to half-demons with dragon blood. Even if they were lucky enough to get this position, they would not be liked by the higher-ups. If there was danger, they would definitely be sent to their deaths. Now that they had Wang Daoyuan, a centurion, as their backer, their lives were more stable. Wang Daoyuan also raised his wine bowl and drank with the 2 of them. Then they did not pay attention to who toasted who and just drank without thinking. The 4 drank until they were a little dizzy. Then, they supported each other and returned to the small courtyard. Of course, Wang Daoyuan was pretending to be drunk. Ever since he refined the 5-element spiritual fire, as long as it was not something outside of the 5 elements, even ordinary poisons would be quickly refined by the spiritual fire. Just a few jars of wine would instantly turn into pure spiritual power when they saw the spiritual fire. After joining the Snow Dragon Army, there was nothing to do. Cultivators did not like to be restrained. An army formed by cultivators was also rarely drilled. Moreover, the Snow Dragon Army was formed by half-demons and half-demons. These things had a violent temperament and were wild and hard to tame. They could not be trained well. After Wang Daoyuan and the other 3 joined the Snow Dragon Army, they would report to the barracks every month. If they wanted to cultivate in seclusion, they could apply not to report. As long as they did not leave the Snow Dragon City, anything was fine. Wang Daoyuan was not in the mood to recruit more people, so he asked Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2 to find some loose half-demon cultivators to join them. In any case, this identity of his was just a cover to avoid being too conspicuous while roaming around the frozen icy plains. To deal with a difficult opponent like the spirit demon, no one else could help. Moreover, with his status in the human race, he had no choice but to accept it. If he really wanted to find someone to help him, it wouldn't be a problem to call over the sect masters of the other 4 top forces. There was no point in recruiting a few Zifu disciples. Wang Daoyuan was also happy to be free. With the excuse that he was in seclusion to make a breakthrough, he didn't need to report to the barracks. After more than a year of leisure, the Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly ran into his house. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Why is Brother Silver Flood Dragon so flustered?" "General Ice Fiend is summoning all centurions and cultivators above to the barracks for a meeting. You are also on the list." Something big must have happened for the commander to gather so many people. Wang Daoyuan did not dare to delay and immediately set off for the barracks. After entering the barracks, a cultivator in armor immediately came forward. This person clasped his hands towards Wang Daoyuan. "Lord Jean Lin, the general has been waiting for a long time. Please follow me." Wang Daoyuan followed behind him and came to an underground secret room in the depths of the military camp. There were already more than 10 people here, including General Ice Fiend. Without waiting for him to bow, Ice Fiend said, "Since Jean Lin is here, everyone is here. Left Field Officer, tell us about our plan." The Snow Dragon Army had originally planned to recruit 1,000 people, divided into 1,000 squads, but they were not full yet. The entire Snow Dragon Army was divided into left and right fields. Each field officer led 500 squads, each with a field officer. The left field officers were all monsters, while the right field officers were all half-monsters. This left field officer was a 4th-rank low-class monster with a single horn on his head. He should also be a dragon, but his dragon blood was relatively thin. The left field officer stood up and said, "The monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range have always been fighting with us for territory, but most of the west of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range has already been taken over by the human race. They do not have much territory in the west of the main mountain range, so it is inconvenient to transport resources from the east. Thus, most of the monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range have already retreated to the east of the main mountain range. There are only a few third and fourth rank monsters in the west of the main mountain range that were not able to retreat in time. Our ice field monster race blocked them for a while, so they did not have a chance to retreat. They could only hide in various places and struggle at death's door. 50 to 60,000 miles north of here, the height of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range is less than 10,000 feet. The peak of the mountain is below the Nine Heavens astral wind layer. Fourth-rank monsters and third-rank monsters can easily cross the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. When we get there, the name of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range will be changed to Hidden Dragon Mountain. That is where the monsters of the Icefield Monster Race and the monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range are fighting over. Our Snow Dragon Army's mission in the future is to support Hidden Dragon Mountain at any time. Of course, the Snow Dragon Army has just been formed, so there is not much cooperation between them. Bringing them to Hidden Dragon Mountain is no different from sending them to their deaths. Half monsters are not easy to manage, and monsters are even harder to manage. They cannot be trained like human cultivators, so we can only fight in place of training. The Grand Monster King sent people to investigate Hot Spring Valley 10,000 miles northeast of Snow Dragon City. There are many monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range gathered there. The preliminary investigation found that there are 5 fourth-rank monsters and more than 100 third-rank monsters. This strength is neither strong nor weak. It is perfect for our Snow Dragon Army and Xuanwu Army to practice. The City Lord has already ordered the Snow Dragon Army and Xuanwu Army to move out in 3 days to flatten the Hot Spring Valley. The left field officer sat down and Bingho continued. Our Snow Dragon Army has more than 200 third-rank monsters in the left field officer, and more than 100 half-monsters in the right field officer. The Xuanwu Army has less people, but there are about 200 monsters and half-monsters in total. The two armies have 6 fourth-rank monsters and more than 500 third-rank monsters, far more than the monsters of the Hot Spring Valley. When you return, immediately gather your subordinates and promise to move out in 3 days. Remember, our goal must not be revealed. Wang Daoyuan and the other centurions had only come to listen to orders. Now that the orders had been given, they left. After returning to the small courtyard, he asked the Silver Flood Dragon, "How many people have you recruited?" The Silver Flood Dragon replied, "If you don't appear, it will be difficult for me, a mere Decurion, to recruit people. Fortunately, I've made many friends in the past few years, and I've also recruited 20 or so half-monsters. They're all mid and early Zifu realm." The Snow Dragon Army had 5 centurions in the right field officer, so there were only a little over 100 of them. His 20 or so subordinates wouldn't be too much of a burden. "This number is enough. Tell the brothers to gather at the barracks in 3 days. Wang Daoyuan had gone to the barracks to discuss matters and gather people. This was clearly the general's intention. The Silver Flood Dragon didn't dare to ask too much. "Brother Jin Lin, don't worry. Although I haven't recruited many people, they'll all listen to orders. They'll all arrive at the barracks in 3 days." Wang Daoyuan nodded and didn't say anything else. 3 days passed quickly, and Wang Daoyuan brought the Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2 to the barracks. Soon, the people the Silver Flood Dragon had recruited slowly gathered. Half a day later, everyone was gathered. The Frost Dragon General said at the center of the barracks, "The Centurions already know what we're going to do. The demons of the left field officer are all in spirit beast pouches. As for the half-monsters of the right field officer, I've prepared a few wind riding eagles for you." Then, 3 high-grade level 3 wind riding eagles descended from the sky. These wind riding eagles were rather large and had a wingspan of 20 meters. It wasn't a problem for them to carry a few dozen people. Wang Daoyuan brought his subordinates and flew onto the back of one of the wind riding eagles. The Imperial Wind Eagle carried 200-man teams. It flapped its wings and headed northeast. The other 2 Imperial Wind Eagles followed closely behind. One of the wind riding eagles had many spirit beast pouches on it. These spirit beast pouches contained the demons of the left field officer. Although the wind riding eagle was only at the high grade of level 3, it was extremely fast and could fly close to 10,000 kilometers in 2 hours. 3 hours later, the wind-riding eagle arrived above the hot spring valley. 4 4th-level demons and 2 early-stage golden core half-demons had also arrived at the same time. Chapter 962. Hot Spring Valley wasn't an ordinary valley. It was huge at the bottom, but there was only a small crack at the top. From the looks of it, it was probably formed by the collapse of an underground river or a karst cave. Such a place was the best for hiding. It wasn't easy to find out how many demon beasts were hiding down there. Since Bing Ho and the others knew how many demon beasts were down there, there was probably a spy among the demon beasts. Perhaps because of the hot spring, there wasn't much snow around, and the crack was emitting hot air. Bing Ho turned into an ice-blue flood dragon. This guy's dragon bloodline was relatively pure. Other than his dragon claws, he was basically no different from a true dragon. It was said that this guy was a direct descendant of the Ice Flood Dragon King of the Arctic Ice Plains. Then his strength should be at the top among the same level of dragon species. Wang Xianlong was definitely inferior to the 2 dragonfish of the Wang family. Wang Minglong had the Hell Dragon bloodline and was stronger than ordinary dragons. When he grew up, there was hope for him to compete with him. The Ice-Blue Flood Dragon roared. Rank 4 demon beasts and golden core half-demon beasts attack together and break the array inside. The demons in the Hot Spring Valley don't have much contact with humans, so the array can't be that strong. Then, he opened his mouth and spat out a gust of cold wind. When the cold wind entered the Hot Spring Valley, there was moist heat coming out of the valley entrance. But when the cold wind blew, it instantly turned into countless snowflakes and slowly drifted down. The demons in the valley quickly reacted. A powerful wave of spiritual power appeared and blocked the cold wind. With Wang Daoyuan's strength, he could naturally see that this was a defensive array. But its grade wasn't very high, only rank 4 inferior grade. The array was also very crude and couldn't withstand continuous attacks. If a human attacked such an array, any rank 3 array master would be able to find the flaw and break it with one attack. Demons and half-demons weren't very good at alchemy, artifacts, and talisman arrays. The half-demons with divine beast bloodlines were as talented as most humans. But this half-demon beast bloodline wasn't like the flood dragon bloodline like the silver flood dragon. Its bloodline came directly from a divine beast. Just like Zhou, Qin and Chu, their bloodline came directly from pure-blooded phoenixes and true dragons without any other demon beast bloodline. Their talent in all aspects was not inferior to humans. Although half-demons like the silver flood dragon also had dragon blood, it came from the flood dragon and its bloodline was mixed. Other than his physical body, his talent in all other aspects was average. These fellows didn't have the ability to break the formation with skills, so they could only rely on brute force. Then, a burly man in a black robe turned into a giant tortoise. He also opened his mouth and spat out a gust of cold air, which was mixed with ice swords. He should be the main general of the Xuanwu army, Xian Jian. He was also at the 4th level of cultivation, and was the representative of the Xuanwu bloodline in Snow Dragon City. Under their joint efforts, the formation below was already on the verge of collapse. At this moment, another one-horned flood dragon and a slightly weaker tortoise soared into the sky and attacked the formation. After half a cup of tea's time, the ground nearby began to shake. The sound of rocks shattering could be heard as the defensive light barrier collapsed. The ice-hornless dragon shouted, "Follow me and kill!" The demonic beasts that were previously in the spirit beast pouch came out one after another, and rushed to the entrance of the valley. Wang Daoyuan and the half-demons also dismounted from the wind-riding eagle and flew to the entrance of the valley on their swords. The demonic beasts in the Hot Spring Valley were determined not to show themselves. Not a single one of them came out to meet the enemy when the formation was broken. The demonic beasts and half-demons of the Xuanwu army and the Xuanwu army smoothly entered the Hot Spring Valley. Wang Daoyuan led more than 20 half-demons and entered the valley through the entrance. Below the entrance was a valley that was 400 to 500 zhang wide and 10,000 zhang tall. The main body of the valley was not long, only 20 to 30 li. At the bottom of the valley, there were several hot springs that emitted large amounts of hot water. With the adjustment of the hot springs, the climate here was not bad. Even mortals could live and reproduce here. This valley was indeed formed by the collapse of a cave. There were many forks in the stone walls. There were no traces of demonic beasts in the valley, but there were many traces of demonic beasts on these forks. They should have been hidden in the caves. The ice-hornless dragon discussed with the Xuanwu bloodline for a while, then said, The left and right captains of the Xuanwu army, take your subordinates and search the east side of the valley. The Xuanwu bloodline also ordered the left and right captains of the Xuanwu army to search the west side of the valley. Wang Daoyuan's right captain of the Xuanwu army followed the right captain and searched the east side of the valley in a cave. After entering the cave, they found clear signs of man-made carvings, and many signs of hot spring water. A long time ago, there should have been humans or half-demons living in this place. These things were definitely not the work of the demonic beasts. They could destroy things but they could not build things. At the start, the cave was very narrow, but the deeper they went, the wider the cave became. After 100 li, formations began to appear in the cave. Of course, these were not high-level formations. There were only a few formations that could prevent spiritual sense, and a few low-level illusion formations and trapping formations. In front of the two captains, these formations could not withstand a single blow. After going more than 10 li into the cave, enormous rocks suddenly fell from the sky. There were also many sharp stone pillars that suddenly protruded from the ground or the walls. These methods were rather interesting. They seemed to be using formations to cast spells. The formations were not strong, only high-grade level 3. However, the person controlling the formation was not weak and could exert a considerable amount of power. These spells were just small tricks in front of Wang Daoyuan, and he easily dodged them. However, the demonic beasts and half-demons did not have such an easy time. The half-demons were better off as they had all learned escape techniques. Moreover, these half-demons that joined the Xuanwu army were all wandering cultivators. Which one of them could cultivate to the Violet Palace realm in the extreme frost icy plains? With just a few small spells from the demon race, they really couldn't hurt them. The demonic beasts, on the other hand, had a harder time. Their spells relied on their bloodline, and many demonic beasts did not have escape techniques. In this relatively narrow passage, their movements were also greatly restricted. In just a few breaths, the left captain had lost more than 20 demonic beasts, and more than 10 were injured. On the other hand, the half-demons were unharmed, and only 2 or 3 were injured. The two captains couldn't just stand by and watch. The left captain shouted, "All monsters and half-monsters, move forward quickly and cross this distance." Then, the two captains led the charge, and the demonic beasts and half-demons followed closely behind. From time to time, there would be earthen walls, boulders, and other obstacles along the way. However, the two captains were quite strong and easily destroyed these obstacles. After charging for less than 10 li, the scenery changed greatly. This was not a narrow passage, but a completely different world. This was a space with a radius of more than 100 li. There were large amounts of spirit plants growing on the ground, and even some forests. There were night pearls above the space for light. Although this was not a secret realm, it was similar to one. Everyone entered the space, and before they could relax, the ground suddenly shook. Soon, huge cracks appeared on the ground, and all kinds of spells were flying towards them. The demonic beasts and half-demons were used to being undisciplined. Now that they encountered danger, they disregarded the two captains' orders and scattered. The two captains couldn't just watch their subordinates scatter. The right captain shouted, "Right captain, the half-fiends scatter and cast spells to protect themselves. There are far fewer enemies than us, so there's nothing to be afraid of." After saying that, he cast a spell and attacked the place where the spell came from. Wang Daoyuan also quickly dodged. Because his cultivation was low, he did not attract many attacks. A few spells attacked, but they were all easily dodged. Now that everyone was scattered, the spells that came from the dark were not very destructive. Soon, a burly man in a yellow robe walked out of the forest. "We've been hiding in the hot spring and have never attacked the demonic beasts. Why are you forcing us?" Chapter 963. This man's identity couldn't be hidden from Wang Daoyuan. He was a mountain-shaking bull, an earth-type demon beast. His cultivation wasn't low as he was already a mid-grade 4th-level demon beast. However, the mountain-shaking bull wasn't a very strong demon beast. The highest he could reach was a high-grade 4th-level demon beast. There had never been a 5th-level mountain-shaking bull. If they fought, they might not be a match for Xueqi's flood dragon. Xueqi smiled. "The two demon beasts have been fighting for generations. Maybe you haven't killed the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains, but what about your ancestors? If you continue to exist, won't your descendants kill the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains?" The blood feud between the two sides is uncountable. If we don't fight to the death, there won't be an end. The mountain shaking bull sighed. The demon beasts here are willing to surrender to the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains. I only ask that you let us live. We're no different from the demon beasts of the northern mountains. If you can accept the demon beasts of the northern mountains, can't you accept us as well? We're indeed no different, but it's the Grand Demon King's order to exterminate you. I'm only a mid-grade demon beasts of the frozen ice plains. I can only carry out orders. Then he stretched out his right hand, and a black dragon claw shadow flew out and grabbed at the mountain shaking bull. A dragon roar sounded and a green light flashed, shattering the dragon claw. A green flood dragon flew out from the forest behind the mountain shaking bull. This flood dragon was also a low-grade 4th-level demon beast. Its bloodline wasn't very pure. It only had a horn on its head and its tail was bald. It was about the same as Xueqi's dragon blood. The green flood dragon smiled. You're from the same clan. With your strength, you can't take us down. You should leave. We can leave this place. We're all demons, so there's no need to kill us all. The snow dragon army couldn't take advantage of the situation. Xueqi was at most on par with the green flood dragon. Although Xueqi was a half-demon beast with dragon blood, he was only at the early stage of the Golden Core realm. Xueqi obviously didn't care about the remaining demon beasts of the Hot Spring Valley. He didn't explain anything and directly revealed his flood dragon true form and attacked the green flood dragon. Xueqi couldn't just stand by and watch. He also attacked the mountain shaking bull. The Zifu disciples naturally didn't dare to get involved in a battle between 4 Golden Core combatants. Wang Daoyuan and his subordinates retreated dozens of miles away, quietly observing the battle. The combat strength of the Golden Core cultivators of both sides was basically equal. The 2 flood dragons had the same cultivation level and bloodline, so they were completely tied. After all, the right field commandant's cultivation base was slightly lower. He was slightly at a disadvantage when facing the rank 4 middle-grade mountain shaking bull. If the mountain shaking bull wanted to win, it would definitely not be an easy task. However, as a half-demon, he could use all kinds of human methods. Seeing that he wasn't panicking at all, he might have some powerful backup plan. They could maintain the situation now, but when both sides ran out of spiritual energy, they would reveal their flaws. At that time, the right field lieutenant would be able to heavily injure or even kill the mountain shaking bull. The two sides fought for an hour, and the 4 gold core stage cultivator's state of battle had somewhat declined. The speed at which he cast spells, as well as the power of his spells, had clearly decreased. Right field commandant's cultivation base was not as high as mountain shaking bull's, so he was at an even greater disadvantage now. The mountain shaking bull naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity and attacked even more viciously. He turned into a khaki-colored light and instantly appeared beside the right field commandant. His horns suddenly crashed over. The right field commandant couldn't dodge in time and could only block with his heavy sword. The strength of his heavy sword Dharma artifact wasn't weak. It actually didn't break after receiving the full force of the mountain shaking bull's attack. Although his stomach wasn't directly cut open by the bull's horns, the mountain shaking bull's valiant strength still sent him flying. He crashed heavily into the stone wall behind him, and spiderweb-like cracks appeared on the hard rock. After the right field commandant landed, he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. It was obvious that his injuries weren't light. The mountain shaking bull naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity. He turned into a khaki-colored light again and charged towards him. The left field commandant wanted to go and rescue him, but he was firmly entangled by the green flood dragon. Seeing that the mountain shaking bull was about to crash into him, the right field commandant revealed a strange smile. He took out a black gourd. Judging from the spiritual energy waves, this gourd was an upper-grade rank 4 Dharma artifact. The mountain shaking bull was also shocked. He hurriedly changed his direction, wanting to distance himself. However, the right field commandant didn't give him the chance. 3 rays of black light shot out from the gourd. The black light was extremely fast. The mountain shaking bull couldn't dodge in time, and the black light pierced through his heart. At this moment, the black light revealed its true appearance. These 3 rays of black light were 3 black short swords. They were all upper-grade rank 4 Dharma artifacts. Normally, they were stored in the Dharma artifact nurturing gourd. At the crucial moment they were quite powerful. The mountain-shaking bull's death was easy to imagine. There were 3 bloody holes on his body, and blood was constantly gushing out. His eyes were wide open, and there was an expression of disbelief. After 3 breaths, the mountain-shaking bull died. The left field commandant was overjoyed. Go and find all the demons below rank 4. Other than the cubs, don't leave a single one alive. Whoever kills the demon beast will keep the corpse. Hearing this, the snow dragon army immediately became excited and charged towards the forest in the deepest part of the space. Wang Daoyuan also followed the crowd and led his half-beasts to charge forward. There weren't many demons here. There were only 20 or so rank 3 demons and a few hundred rank 2 demons. However, they didn't find any demon beast cubs. They might be hiding somewhere else. These demons were naturally unable to withstand a single blow from the snow dragon army. In less than 100 breaths, they were all killed. The left field commandant laughed coldly. Are you still planning to resist? Although the right field commandant is heavily injured, he has already taken a healing pill. He will recover some strength in a short time. You already used all your strength to deal with me. Do you still have the ability to block the flying swords? Although the Grand Yao King ordered to kill you, you are still a dragon. Dragon species have a high status in the extreme frost plains and cannot be easily killed. As long as you are willing to surrender, keeping your life is not a problem. Who knows, you might even be able to become a field commandant in the future. The sky-chopping mountain range is controlled by the Phoenix race. You probably don't have any status. Why do you still work for them? Green Flood Dragon pulled away and sighed. Since it has come to this, I have no other way out. I am willing to surrender to the extreme Frost Plains demon race. The left field commandant nodded. Since you have already surrendered, I have no right to punish you. The Snow Dragon Army's General Ice Dragon General is outside. He will decide how to punish you. After speaking, he brought Green Flood Dragon out. A few of the right field commandant's trusted aides cut down spiritual wood to make a stretcher and carried him out. Wang Daoyuan carried the corpse of a rank 3 intermediate wolf demon and left the underground space with the others. At this moment, he suddenly felt something strange behind him. He released a bit of his divine sense to investigate but did not find anything. After careful investigation, he found that the soul of the dead demon was gone. Although the cultivation technique he cultivated belonged to the righteous Tao, he had also learned a lot of evil cultivation techniques. He still had the ability to sense souls. After a living being with a soul died, the soul would leave the body and temporarily stay at the place where it died. The soul would be muddle-headed and would not run around. It would dissipate and enter the cycle of reincarnation after 4 to 8 hours. But it had just died. Even the soul of an ordinary beast would not dissipate so quickly. He immediately thought of spirit demons. These guys would collect the souls of demon beasts. Just now, he clearly felt that there was something strange behind him, although he didn't discover anything. Although he did not find anything, he was a peak Yuanian cultivator. He definitely would not be mistaken. They could appear and disappear without a sound. Either their cultivation level was far higher than his, or they had special abilities. There was no one in Beiyuan Xueqi whose cultivation level was far higher than his. Only spirit demons had this special ability. Wang Daoyuan was ecstatic. Although he could not catch the spirit demons, he could at least be sure that these guys were around. As long as these things existed, there was a chance to catch them. Chapter 964. This could be considered a close encounter with a soul demon. Unfortunately, he didn't discover the soul demon's methods in time. Even if he wanted to find this thing, he couldn't use his divine sense to search everywhere. After all, soul demons specialized in divine sense cultivation. If he used his divine sense openly, he wouldn't be able to hide from them. Even if he encountered them again, he wouldn't have a good way to capture them. At this time, in the underground space behind Wang Daoyuan, there were 2 very small figures in a crack in the rock. One of them said, "Elder, we met this person last time. We saw that his body was far stronger than ordinary Zifu realm cultivators and suspected that he had a secret treasure. But we were worried that he was a high-level cultivator hiding his cultivation, so we didn't act." The other soul demon nodded. "You did the right thing. This person is indeed extraordinary. He was actually able to sense our presence just now. Even I couldn't see any signs of him hiding his cultivation. If he wasn't hiding his cultivation, Then it would be terrifying if he could sense our presence with such a powerful body. Either this person is extraordinarily talented, and his body and talent are both extremely powerful. Either that, or he has a secret treasure that makes his body incredibly strong, and that secret treasure may have the ability to sense our race. Either way, he's very valuable. What should we do? Should we capture him now? Don't act rashly. We haven't figured out his secrets yet. There were too many demons and half-demons here. If he had a secret treasure that could protect him, he wouldn't be able to escape. If we act rashly and fail to capture him, our clan will be exposed to the public. Keep an eye on him first. I don't believe he'll be with other demons and half-demons. When he's alone, we'll call more of our race and capture him in one go. Wang Daoyuan acted as if nothing had happened and continued to follow the half-demons. When they arrived at the main part of the hot spring valley, they found traces of a battle. There were many scratches on the walls and many shattered rocks. There were also many bloodstains on the ground. The spirit energy fluctuations it emitted indicated that it was left behind by a mid-grade grade 4 demon beast. From the aura of the blood, the owner should be a tiger-type demon beast with some white tiger bloodline, but it was far from being a half-divine beast. This sort of strength was simply impossible to survive against Bing Ho and the Xuanwu army commander. He should have been killed by now, and his corpse should have been kept. Xueqi brought the green flood dragon to the front of the ice dragon. He bowed and said, "General, this green flood dragon is a member of the Hot Spring Valley's demon clan. He is willing to submit to our Ice Plains demon race and is also a dragon. I didn't dare to deal with him on my own, so I brought him here." The green flood dragon continued, "Although I was born in the Heaven/Mountain Range, I was a snake that transformed into a flood dragon. His parents were only low-ranked spirit snakes, and they had long since passed away. When I was young, I accidentally swallowed the remains of a dragon species, and the dragon bloodline hidden in my body awakened. After thousands of years of cultivation, he finally transformed into a flood dragon. He had cultivated for over 1,000 years and had never killed a demon of the Ice Plains. I have nothing to worry about in the Heavenly/Mountain Ranges demon race. I am willing to submit to the Ice Plains demon race. Please take me in." The Ice Chi nodded. "Since you have dragon blood and are of the same race, there's no problem in accepting you. You can be a centurion under the left commandant for now. With your strength, it won't be a problem to establish yourself. In the future, when the Snow Dragon army expands, it will be easy for you to become a commandant." The green flood dragon was overjoyed. He thought that it would be good enough if he could keep his life. He didn't expect to be able to become a centurion. "Many thanks to General for not killing me. I will definitely repay General's kindness with my life." Everyone waited here for an hour before the Xuanwu army returned. The Xuanwu army's left commandant also cupped his hands towards the Xuanwu army's general. "General, we have 2 low-ranked rank 4 demons and 30 rank 3 demons. They have all been killed." The Xuanwu army's general nodded. "You have done well." Then he said to the Ice Dragon, "Brother Ice Dragon, according to our scouts, there are 5 rank 4 demons and over 100 rank 3 demons in the Hot Spring Valley. We have encountered rank 4 demons, but we have only killed about 50 rank 3 demons. There are still another 50 that have not been found." The green flood dragon cupped his hands and said, "Generals, those people took the demon cubs and fled south through the cave. This karst cave was full of forks, unlike the 2 directions in the east and west, which had been excavated by someone. I haven't been in the Hot Spring Valley for long, so I don't know much. I don't know where they fled to." The ice dragon smiled. "Actually, it's good to let some go. It's like the human race planting spirit grains. We can't eat them all at once. When these demons reproduce, we can come back and kill them. If we kill them all, we will have to go to Hidden Dragon Mountain to kill the demons of the Sky Carve Mountain Range." The Xuanwu army's general nodded. "Brother Ice Dragon's method is good. Then let's not take the risk and go back." Wang Daoyuan followed the Snow Dragon army and the Xuanwu army back to Snow Dragon City. After their near-death experience, the demons and half-demons wanted to indulge themselves. The Snow Dragon army gave them some rewards and let them indulge in wine and pleasure. After Wang Daoyuan sold the rank 3 wolf demon to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce, he returned to the small courtyard to continue his seclusion. He took out a communication jade talisman and sent a message to Wang Mingchen, telling him that he might encounter a soul demon. He asked him to ask the myriad spirits patriarch if he had a way to detect a soul demon. In the palace of Qingli City, after Wang Mingchen received the message, he called out the myriad spirits patriarch and handed him the jade talisman. After reading the message Jade Talisman, the myriad spirits patriarch sighed. As expected of the son of Providence, he found traces of a soul demon so quickly. The Black Tortoise Hall in the Valley of Beasts has been busy for more than 100,000 years, but they only found traces of soul demons more than 10 times. It's only been a year, but he found a soul demon. After a while, he might really be able to catch a soul demon. Wang Mingchen asked, "Do you have a way to detect soul demons? This thing comes and goes without a trace, and it can hide in the netherworld at any time. If you don't have a way to detect it, the soul demon will escape before you can do anything." The myriad spirits patriarch replied, "I've experienced too many things. I can't remember anything for a while. Dao Yuan mentioned the soul demon to me before, so I thought more about it. Those kids from the Black Tortoise Hall have been fighting with soul demons for more than 100 years, so they have naturally created many methods to deal with them. They don't have the ability to separate the two realms of yin and yang, but they still have many methods to detect soul demons. Some secret techniques are not practical. After all, soul demons appear and disappear in an instant. They can't use secret techniques all the time. There was once a Black Tortoise Hall master who improved a soul-chasing compass based on evil cultivators' dharma artifacts. This thing could track the traces of souls. As long as it was a living being with a soul, it could not escape the detection of the soul-chasing compass. Furthermore, the stronger the soul, the higher the spiritual consciousness cultivation, the more obvious it would be on the soul-chasing compass. Although the soul demon was neither a demon nor a ghost, it was still a living being with a soul. The disciples of the Black Tortoise Hall also relied on this compass to find traces of soul demons many times. Unfortunately, the soul demon's method of traveling between the two realms was too brilliant. They couldn't catch it even if they found it. Whether Dao Yuan can catch it or not will depend on his ability. When Wang Mingchen heard this, he hurriedly said, "Then let's send the refining method of the soul-chasing compass to Father." The myriad spirits patriarch said with a smile, "There's no need to do that. I saw that the inheritances in the secret room of the imperial study were all copied copies. They should have been in Dao Yuan's hands. It's just that there are too many things, so it's impossible for him to check them all. Now, as long as we send a message to tell him about the soul-chasing compass, he can find the refining method himself." Wang Mingchen nodded and took out a communication jade talisman to send the information about the soul-chasing compass. Chapter 965. Wang Daoyuan didn't know how to search for the spirit demon, so he planned to go to the Archaic Mysteries sect to borrow the yin-yang compass. The yin-yang compass's functions were more comprehensive. It could search for various spiritual objects, find the flaws in array formations, and also have the function of trapping the enemy. Using this thing to search for the spirit demon would be more or less useful. After receiving Wang Mingchen's message and learning about the function of the soul-chasing compass, he immediately let the doppelganger in the space of the spirit pearl search for the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. After obtaining the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts, he let the doppelganger organize it. Different types of inheritances were stored in different categories. He didn't pay too much attention to an unorthodox magic weapon like the soul-chasing compass, so he didn't copy it. All the refining methods of unorthodox magic weapons were piled together. Several doppelgangers searched together and soon found the refining method of the soul-chasing compass. All compass-like magic weapons had the same basic functions, and the refining methods were relatively similar. The target was different, and the tool patterns were different. The soul-chasing compass could find the target's tool pattern and sense the power of the soul and spiritual sense. There were many compass-like magic weapons with this function, but the soul-chasing compass's function was stronger. Generally, the same type of magic tool would only be able to detect some clues when the target used their divine sense. The soul-chasing compass's function was much stronger. As long as a soul appeared within the range of detection, it could detect it. Of course, the premise was that the opponent didn't have any special defense. This soul-chasing compass was made by the Valley of Beasts and had never been seen before. Even the Black Tortoise Hall master who created the soul-chasing compass didn't know what method could interfere with it. There was doppelganger Xueqi in the space of the spirit pearl. In terms of processing materials and forging, Wang Daoyuan didn't need to do it himself. The flow of time in the space of the spirit pearl was more than 90 times faster than the outside world, so Xueqi had plenty of time to practice. 3 days later, a compass without any engravings on it was created. After all, the soul-chasing compass was a relatively special magic weapon. Its ability to detect souls was very strong, and the difficulty of refining was also higher. Wang Daoyuan tossed and turned for 2 months. After failing 3 times, he finally managed to refine a compass that didn't have too many flaws. After all, to deal with the legendary spirit demon, he had to try his best to do it perfectly. After the tool pattern was inscribed, it was stored in the spiritual bead space and placed in the Xian cauldron to be nurtured. 5 or 6 days later, the artifact was completely nurtured. The well-nourished soul-chasing compass was a black disc with a diameter of more than 5 inches. Its raw material was the Yellow Springs willow. This compass was an upper-grade 5th-tier magic tool, and its refining method was similar to that of the 7th-tier soul-chasing compass. However, Wang Daoyuan knew his own limits, so he did not pursue a higher level of difficulty. The pattern on the compass was also very simple. There was nothing else other than the direction mark. He put the soul-chasing compass into his sea of consciousness. After all, he had to deal with the elusive soul demon. He couldn't always hold the compass in his hand. Back then, the creator of the soul-chasing compass had thought of this point and made some improvements to the tool pattern, allowing it to be stored in the sea of consciousness. Injecting his spiritual energy and divine sense into the compass released an extremely weak energy. This energy's ability to penetrate was extremely strong. When it came out of Wang Daoyuan's sea of consciousness, it did not encounter any obstruction. Soon, this energy covered an area with a radius of 300 miles. This energy was extremely hidden. Even with Wang Daoyuan's divine sense cultivation base, it was difficult to detect it. If he could easily detect it, he would not be able to hide it from the soul demon. The divine sense power of an ordinary demon was far inferior to that of a human. The great demon king of the extremely frozen ice field should be completely unable to detect this special energy, let alone the other demon clans. After the energy spread out to 300 miles, an illusory image of 100 feet in diameter began to appear on the compass. This illusory image was a topographic map of Snow Dragon City and its surroundings. A human sea of consciousness was originally an extremely special space, and the range was also boundless. Of course, the vast majority of physical objects could not be directly placed into the sea of consciousness. Otherwise, the human race would not need any space treasures. For this kind of illusory image without substance, it did not matter how many there were. On the topographic map illusory image, dense light spots appeared. Each speck of light represented a living being with a soul. These specks of light were all different in color and brightness. The light spots displayed by the soul-chasing compass had a total of 8 colors, which were gray, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Gray represented ordinary beasts and humans below the Qi refinement realm. The 7 colors corresponded to human cultivators from the Qi refinement realm to the Mahayana realm and demons of the same realm. The strength of the divine sense cultivation base was represented by the brightness of the light spots. Wang Daoyuan's compass was only of the upper grade of the 5th grade. The highest level it could detect was the soul of a soul formation cultivator. It displayed blue light spots. In the entire Snow Dragon City area, there were no gray light spots, and even red light spots were extremely rare. There were also many orange light spots, but most of them were yellow light spots that represented Zifu realm cultivators. There was probably a green light spot under the city lord's mansion. It seemed that there was still a 5th grade demon lurking in Snow Dragon City. After verifying its function, Wang Daoyuan closed the soul-chasing compass. The search tools were all available. If he wanted to catch the soul demon, he could only rely on the spirit pearl. To delay the soul demon from escaping into the underworld and buy time for the spirit pearl, he still had to rely on Yunyi's roar. This guy had stayed in the spirit pearl space for more than a year. According to the flow of time in the space, more than 100 years had passed. There were many spiritual items in the spirit pearl space. Yunyi's cultivation resources would not be lacking. However, this guy wanted to slack off, so Wang Daoyuan ordered the Xian cauldron's weapon spirit to keep an eye on him. Yunyi's strength was completely vulnerable in front of the 6th grade Xian cauldron. The Xian cauldron would not spoil him. If he was disobedient, he would be taken into the cauldron and roasted with the spirit fire. Now that his cultivation had reached the middle grade of the 4th grade, it would take some time for him to reach the upper grade of the 4th grade. His current cultivation speed was already beyond Wang Daoyuan's expectations. Without the Xian cauldron, With Yunyi's lazy character, it would probably take him 10 years to reach the peak of the 4th grade. Now it seemed that it would take at most 2 or 3 years. The silver flood dragon came to his door. Wang Daoyuan's consciousness left the spirit pearl's space. He came to the door and asked, "What's the matter, brother Silver Flood Dragon?" The right field lieutenant conveyed General Ice Dragon's order. The right field colonel wants to recruit half-demons as soon as possible. Also, starting from next month, the right field colonel's 100-man squads will go to the sky-beheading mountain range to patrol and kill the remaining demons. Is there any movement from the left field colonel's side? The Silver Flood Dragon shook his head. There's no movement from the left field colonel's side. They're still recruiting the 3rd grade demons step by step. However, the newly recruited demons have added a condition. They must have an escape technique as one of their innate spells. Wang Daoyuan nodded and did not say anything. It seemed that last time in the Hot Spring Valley, the demons suffered heavy losses while the half-demons were unharmed, which provoked the ice dragon. The demons only relied on their bloodline talents. In terms of adaptability, they were far inferior to half-demons. Half a month later, it was time for the right field colonel to patrol the sky-beheading mountain range. Wang Daoyuan was the centurion of the right field colonel's 100-man squad. His patrol area was east of Snow Dragon City. After leading his subordinates more than 1,000 miles away from Snow Dragon City, Wang Daoyuan opened the soul-chasing compass in his sea of consciousness. The image on the compass showed that within a radius of 300 miles, there were no other living beings besides the half-demons he led. This thing consumed a lot of spirit power. However, Wang Daoyuan did not care about spirit power consumption and planned to keep it open. Not far from the east, 2 dazzling light spots suddenly appeared on the compass. One of them was a green light spot representing the Yuanying cultivators. Moreover, this light spot was extremely dazzling. It was not inferior to his own light spot on the compass image. The other light spot was green. It represented a golden core state cultivation. Wang Daoyuan was overjoyed. His prey had appeared. The souls of demons were far inferior to humans. In the entire Beiyuan Xiuxian, there was no one with a consciousness comparable to his. Moreover, these 2 light spots appeared suddenly. Only soul demons had a consciousness comparable to his and could appear and disappear unpredictably. Chapter 966. The 2 specks of light were very cautious and remained 100 kilometers north of Wang Daoyuan the entire time. This distance was nothing to Yuanying cultivators. Against ordinary enemies, even if they couldn't kill them in one blow, they could still severely injure them. However, soul demons were too special. They could escape into the netherworld at any time. Even mighty figures couldn't stop them. At a distance of 100 kilometers, Yuanying cultivators couldn't stop them. Wang Daoyuan didn't understand why the 2 were following him. In order to avoid alerting them, he pretended that he hadn't discovered anything. In the north, 2 indistinct figures floated in the air. Their figures were extremely small, only the size of mosquitoes. They didn't leak any spirit power or spiritual sense. "Han Yin, do you feel that something is wrong?" Han Yin released a trace of his spiritual sense and probed the surrounding situation. "No, Elder. Our clan's spiritual sense secret technique is very effective. As long as there are living creatures nearby, even if their cultivation is much higher than mine, I should be able to sense them." The elder also released a trace of his spiritual sense and probed the surroundings. "Indeed, I didn't discover anything. I just felt that something was off. Could it be that you sensed the target's treasure?" Han Yin replied, "That's really possible. All treasures are extraordinary in some way. Perhaps it's because my cultivation is too low and I can't sense it. Elder, your strength isn't much weaker than the patriarch's. You should have sensed the treasure's extraordinariness. What you said makes sense, but we can't let our guard down. When we attack later, we'll create some unexpected situations to avoid exposing our clan's whereabouts." Wang Daoyuan still acted as if nothing had happened. He led the 20 or so Zifu half-demons on flying swords. The 2 specks of light on the compass had always been 100 kilometers north. The distance and speed hadn't changed. Now it seemed that these 2 fellows weren't just passing by. It was very likely that they were coming for him. This sudden surprise left Wang Daoyuan at a loss. He was originally worried that he would alert the enemy and allow the 2 fellows to escape. From the looks of it, these 2 fellows were determined to die. A rank 5 spirit demon was not easy to deal with. The other rank 4 spirit demon could still give it a try. Xueqi was a rank 4 spirit demon and had an innate ability to restrain spirit demons and ghosts. In the case where the difference in cultivation was not too big, there was still some hope of suppressing a rank 4 spirit demon with a tiger roar. Everyone flew towards the east for more than 2,000 miles. Silver Flood Dragon took out a simple map and said, "Centurion, the right field commandant has divided us into 7 patrol areas. Our team of 100 now only has 20 or so people. We're divided into 3 teams of 10. If everyone were to patrol together, they would probably have to stay in this world of ice and snow for a few days. I think it's better to patrol separately. Centurion, please decide how to distribute them." Wang Daoyuan took the map and examined it carefully. Then, he pointed at the area on the map and said, "I will personally patrol the southernmost area. The 3 of you will patrol 2 areas each." Wang Daoyuan wanted to send the others away, but the 2 spirit demons didn't make a move. Perhaps they felt that there were too many half-demons. If they took down all the half-demons, the impact would be too great. If a team of 100 suddenly disappeared, there would definitely be a big commotion in Snow Dragon City. These patrol areas were separated by 1 or 2,000 miles. If he patrolled an area alone, the other half-demons wouldn't be able to detect him at all. At that time, the 2 spirit demons would dare to make a move. Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly said, "Centurion, this is not appropriate. Although the demons in the Heavenly/Mountain Range don't dare to show up easily, there are still sporadic demon beasts roaming around occasionally. If you encounter those demon beasts, it will be difficult for you to deal with them. Rank 3 demon beasts are nothing to worry about. If we encounter rank 4 demon beasts, what's the difference whether we split up or not? It's settled then. You all go patrol your own areas." Then he flew towards the southeast. After flying for 500 or 600 miles, the 2 light spots still maintained a distance of more than 200 miles from him. Wang Daoyuan was relieved. At least these 2 guys' target was him and not the other half-demons. He continued to fly towards the southeast for more than 2,000 miles, and the 2 light spots began to rapidly approach him. Wang Daoyuan was also a little nervous. This was a critical moment that determined his future Dao path. If the spirit demons took the initiative to attack, he couldn't avoid them without exposing his strength. Once they attacked but couldn't take down a spirit demon, they wouldn't easily show up in the future. The Arctic ice field was vast and boundless. Where could he find them? The spirit demons were rapidly approaching. Wang Daoyuan also asked his clone to greet Xueqi so that he wouldn't screw up. Xueqi was also ready to let the spirit bead leave his sea of consciousness at any time. After more than 10 breaths, the 2 spirit demons had already arrived more than 300 feet behind him. Wang Daoyuan quickly summoned Xueqi from the spirit bead space. This fat tiger didn't screw up after all. The moment he came outside, he let out a roar. It was as if he was roaring out all the grievances he had suffered in the spirit bead space over the years. Wang Daoyuan was also very fast. When the tiger roared, the spirit bead had already arrived outside his sea of consciousness. Immediately, a spiritual energy vortex hundreds of feet long appeared around him, and the 2 spirit demons were in the spiritual energy vortex. The 2 spirit demons were taken aback by the sudden change. The tiger roar came, and as soon as they realized that something was wrong, they felt as if there was thunder in their ears. The rank 4 spirit demon was stunned on the spot. Although the rank 5 spirit demon was also a little affected, his cultivation base was not low. He reacted in an instant, and there was a violent fluctuation of divine sense power on his body. Wang Daoyuan only felt that a dark hole appeared below, and it was emitting violent spatial fluctuations. At the same time, there was an extremely rich yin qi gushing out of the hole. This yin qi was very mixed, and it was mixed with death qi, resentment qi, and so on. This should be the escape method of the spirit demons, shuttling between the 2 worlds of yin and yang. This mixed yin qi should be coming from the underworld. As soon as the black hole appeared, violent spatial fluctuations appeared on the spirit bead. Under the suppression of the spirit bead, the black hole slowly shrank. At this time, the spirit demon's concealment method was broken, and they were directly exposed in front of Wang Daoyuan. These 2 guys were almost completely transparent. They looked like human figures, but he couldn't see their specific faces. The rank 5 spirit demon's body also emitted the same mixed yin qi as below, enveloping him in hun yin. At the same time, the black hole below had an extremely strong suction force on the two spirit demons. This should be the spell used by the spirit demons to escape to the underworld. But the suction force of the spirit bead had always been there, and the suction force of the black hole did not prevail. The two spirit demons didn't move at all, and the rank 5 spirit demon let out a terrified cry as if it had encountered something terrible. Xueqi was still roaring, and Hunyin had fallen into a semi-coma and didn't know how to escape. As time passed, the spirit power vortex caused by the spirit bead became bigger and bigger, and the suction force became stronger and stronger. The rank 5 spirit demon couldn't hold on any longer, so it had to give up on Hunyin and escape alone. Hunyin, who hadn't recovered yet, was directly absorbed into the spirit bead. With a spirit demon in hand, Wang Daoyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He finally got something. This rank 5 spirit demon couldn't be let go easily, or it would attract the revenge of the spirit demons. While he was competing with the suction force of the spirit bead, his divine ability domain had already been unfolded. Xueqi continued to roar, deterring the rank 5 spirit demon. Within a few hundred feet of the spirit demon, a black sea of fire formed, completely covering the place where the yin qi gushed out from below. The sea of fire was still expanding, trying to wrap the rank 5 spirit demon. The spirit demon seemed to be very afraid of the Gui water hellflame and didn't dare to break through directly. The Gui water hellflame could directly use the power of the soul and spiritual sense as fuel. The spirit demon's entire body had the characteristics of the soul, which should be restrained by the Gui water hellflame. The rank 5 spirit demon waved his hand, and a gray light hit the sea of fire below. The power of this move was not bad. The sea of fire was split in half, and he immediately swooped down. Wang Daoyuan quickly controlled the two seas of fire to converge in the middle. With the suction force of the spirit bead and Yunyi's roar, his speed was greatly affected. Before he rushed out, the sea of fire recovered again.